everybody. This is Craig again. I'm here tonight with a new group to actually do some Call of Cthulhu. We'll be playing a game called The Torment of Anglesey. So, what the hell's all that about? Well, watch us and find out. Tonight we have Dave joining us.
Hello.
Garrett, Aaron, and of course my lovely wife Andrea, who's normally behind the camera or answering questions on the chat log. So if we're a little slow in answering chat, sorry about that. Let's talk about who you are character-wise. We'll go around the table. Who wants to go first? Dave?
Thank you for volunteering me. I was going to volunteer myself. So I'm Obadiah Jensen, or OB. So he is a private investigator. Grew up on the streets. His father went off to the Great War and perished there. But he's got a strong familial craziness, we'll say. His grandfather's in an insane asylum currently. His father definitely went off the deep end, and he's kind of like being like, oh man, like the time is ticking, like, you know, I'm on borrowed time here. So he's kind of like a hard boiled, like, drop his head and charge right into stuff, risk taker, investigator.
Excellent.
My guy is Rene Jacques. Born in Saskatchewan, learned to fly, went to the Great War, came back, and his family was sort of bankrupt and sort of moved on and traveled. He stands out a little bit. He's not your typical guy of the 1920s. He's got a long hair and ponytail, blonde, kind of 5 o'clock shadow all the time. Friendly appearance, but, you know.
Cool. And why is he adventuring?
Why is he an adventurer?
Yeah.
I think he just has a spirit of adventure.
Cool.
You know.
Cool. Okay. Aaron.
I am Edward Thomas Foster. I was raised in a very affluent family in England that later moved to America. And then I went back to get an education at the same college my father went to. I got a very good education there. And then moved back to the States. My parents wanted me to do something very important, be a politician, someone around town. But my curiosity got the better of me, and I ended up taking a job at the newly formed Federal Bureau of Investigation because I just wanted to know what's going on in the world, and I wasn't satisfied with just being like a man about town with my family. So that's kind of where I ended up.
Cool.
G-Man.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what drives you to do something different?
While I was in college, I made a friend there who had strange ideas about the world and showed me a little bit of kind of what was like behind the curtain a little bit. Showed me a little like kind of wondrous things or strange things, and it kind of piqued my interest. So I've been kind of following that along kind of in the back of my mind ever since, and just kind of keeping me going.
Was it a Ouija board?
It could have
been. Ouija board 8.0.
A little bit more extreme.
All right, how about yourself?
I am Miranda Ashcroft from England. I will probably... The English accent will go vary from Welsh to other things as we go through, whatever. I came to the United States after I got a letter from my friend Vivian, who I grew up with. She was a wealthy, the daughter of a family. My mother actually was the maid, basically worked in this house, so I grew up with this girl and kind of got to see the rich life, I guess, and kind of tagged on. She kind of taught me how to be a lady and all the things that I didn't have. I was a nurse in the war, and then London kind of got depressing, and so I've now come to Boston looking for something more exciting. I'm working relief at the Massachusetts General Hospital. Once in a while I'm called to the Harvard Medical School to talk about my experiences with battlefield medicine during the war. But I'm finding Boston a little, and I would like to go back home.
Okay. All right. Now, we begin in Boston in April of 1925. Boston in April is a northeastern city in April. It's rainy, it's cold. The wind is... Some days you get like these beautiful spring days, but then the next day the wind will lash the city and plunge it into a deep fog. I've put some pictures up on the screen there. This is kind of what Boston looked like in the 20s, okay? Kind of a rough and tumble kind of town. A lot of buildings were sort of slapped up, They not a lot of stuff was built with an eye towards beautiful architecture. Let's put it that way. A lot of it was built very quickly, and it is functional. Let's put it that way. Okay. So you find yourselves at odds in Boston for a variety of reasons. However, each of you has had the opportunity to come into contact with a fellow by the name of Mason Ridley. Now, each of you have known Mason from the past for a variety of reasons. Some of you know him a long time, some of you know him just a few months. However, he has become a friend to each of you, either a friend or an old friend or at least more than a colleague, let's put it that way. And he's always been supportive of other people. So when you need help, he's always there, a guy that you can reach out to, and he'll actually speak to you. Now, he speaks English, but he's not from England. And for those of you who haven't traveled a lot, all you know is he's got kind of an odd English accent. Okay, South African, and
That is an odd English accent.
So we are. We start with you guys having been called to the Black Bull, which is an Irish pub that Mason visits on a regular basis. It's right off of Bunker Hill, so it's kind of downtown, in a bit of a rough neighborhood. Okay, but it's also one of the best Irish pubs, as Mason will tell you as soon as you see him, and he's invited you to join him. So we pick up the game around 7 o'clock. Each of you has arrived separately because, apart from you two, because you know each other from your childhood, apart from none of you really know one another. Okay, you know Mason through
Miranda.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Black Bub. The Black Bull is basically painted green, plate glass windows, kind of grubby. There's some old hand-carved furniture inside, as well as like this heavy bar. The furniture is used and tends to rotate often because there's generally a number of brawls here every month, and so the furniture gets damaged. Mason is already waiting for you. He's generally punctual, and tonight's no different. He is dressed as he's always dressed, which is sort of dapper but tattered, if that makes any sense. He wears decent clothes. He goes out of his way to wear decent clothes, but you can tell that his clothes have been sort of sewn and repaired a bunch of times. And so his coats, etc., they always tend to have a bit of a second-hand look to them. Okay? Yeah, so you arrive. He stands up to greet you. Mason's about 6 foot, and he's got like a boxer's build, right? He's kind of got that, what's that shape? Like the V shape, kind of, broad shoulders,
yeah.
etc. He's strong for his weight, right? Like he's a muscular guy. He spent a lot of his time doing physical things. So he greets you with sort of his generally warm, crooked smile. He doesn't talk a lot, but he's genuine, right? And so when you meet him, he's obviously happy to see you. Anybody want to arrive first? Or do you just all arrive as a cluster?
7 p.m. What day of the week is it?
Tuesday.
I would definitely arrive on time.
Okay.
I'm a punctual fellow.
If I don't have any ongoing investigations, I am probably just killing time. So I'll probably be there early and like
Okay.
lurk,
How about
what my
Renee?
job is.
I'd probably feel like I'd show up about like 10-15 minutes late.
Okay.
As
All
if
right.
it's just sort of natural. Like, oh yeah, this would just be.
All right. So your first few minutes when you arrive are Mason, getting you drinks, and bear in mind it is prohibition, right? So you drink tea, okay, which has a bit of a kick to it, okay, because prohibition is in full swing in Boston. However, at the same time, it's Boston and it's Irish people, so come on, get serious, right? As long as they pay the right policeman, they don't come around, okay? So you don't get beer or anything like that, but you get tea with a rot gut in it that has a definite turpentine sort of quality to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yum,
Okay.
yum, yum.
Medical
Okay.
alcohol.
Mint tea.
That's why they brew the tea so strong.
Yeah.
So
This is great. My legs aren't going numb this time.
yeah, exactly. Oh wait, there goes my vision. Oh shit. Okay. When you all arrive, he doesn't waste any time. He just kind of cuts to the point, and he says, again in his accent, which I will not try to do. I thank you for all coming. He seems awkward. Do you know what I mean? As if he's uncomfortable.
Unusually so, because normally he's...
Normally he's quiet. He's not awkward. He's
Okay.
just quiet, right? He's laconic, not, like he doesn't speak a lot, right? I have a problem, and I can't solve it, and I need some help. And you are my friends, and so I thought perhaps one of you might be able to suggest something. Now, he has introduced you all, okay? So, right, some table rules before we go on. Number one, unless you say you're keeping it secret, which you might do in Cthulhu, it's not secret. Okay? It means as soon as you see the other players, you will share the information with them. Okay? Number one. Number two, when you roll dice, if it's off the rolling surface, you re-roll all the dice again. So just so we're not doing that later on.
The rolling surface being... the
Whatever you choose
table?
it to be.
Okay.
Whatever you choose
Yeah,
it to
okay.
be. Right?
Yeah, sure.
But if you're saying it's a table, one rolls off the table, you're rolling them all
Yeah.
again. Right?
Yeah.
Okay? Cock die, everything rolls again.
Oh, okay. All right. It's not just the screwed up die; it's the whole handful.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
So, just so we know.
Okay.
All right. Well, as you know, I've been working for a family for some time now, and recently I've been given the job of valet to Addison, who is the second oldest of the Anglesey children. In fairness, I'm more of a babysitter than anything else. Well, he's fallen in with something I don't quite understand, and I'm not really sure what to do about it. Over the Christmas season, he met a woman, Harper Pratchett. You guys can, we'll start right now. You guys can make education rolls. Who is Harper Pratchett? For those of you, none of you come from wealthy society, so this will be hard for all of you. What that means is when you're making your roll, you're rolling the second, like you're rolling for half of whatever your education is.
It's a no roll.
The no roll, yes.
And what are we rolling?
Education,
No.
and you're rolling the half, like the 40.
Gotcha.
But what?
Oh, you're rolling percentiles. So you're rolling this guy and this guy.
D100.
This one, this?
Yep, or these two.
Point of question.
32.
Yes.
Is that a zero?
Because I have ties to the Anglesey family, do I know this Addison? Have I met him in
Yes.
passing even?
Yes, you
And-
would have met him in passing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Did you
I'm
get-
familiar with him.
Yes.
Do we have to
Ish.
get above the number or below? the
Below.
number? Below. 32. Good.
Nice.
Okay, so that is rank 1,
9?
and then that's a
Oh,
0.
well, yeah.
So 10. So 10 is below 40. That is a
Maybe
6.
green will be my tens.
Isn't he the
Top one
president?
is mine. This is the percentage one?
Yes.
That
They're,
does seem
they're all
pretty-
percentages. Right? This one is standard, hard, extremely
What was the
hard.
name? For James
Okay.
something.
Same for the.
What?
What was the name of this person?
The other attributes?
For James.
Yes, exactly. So what do you have? You got 10, right? So that is a success?
Yeah.
Okay. How about yourself?
I got 32, so success.
Okay. Failure and failure.
Double failure.
All right. Okay. So you guys never heard of Harper
We're the
Pratchett.
smart ones.
However,
Just roll at a higher
We just
socioeconomic
thugs,
class, obviously.
scholars. Excellent. Yes, it is a new game. Today is session 1. We are just getting started with the first adventure, which is called Boston by Night. Okay. So yes, you have both heard of the Pratchett family. The Pratchett family are fairly significant movers and shakers in the industry circles of the city. They actually are resource managers of resource managers. They're deep into mining and that kind of resources. So mining and steel, that kind of stuff. Okay, as Boston has a shipbuilding industry, it makes them quite important. Okay. So around the Christmas season, he took up with a girl, Harper Pratchett. I'm not exactly sure how far it's gone, and honestly, I don't really care to know. However, sometime in February, right after Valentine's Day, they visited a place called the Titus Club. And, well, Mr. Engelsley has changed. There's no other way to say it. Something has... He's become obsessed not only with Miss Pratchett, but also with the club itself. He attends there twice a week, and when I pick him up, because I'm his driver as well, he is... I can't explain how he is. He's not drunk. At first I thought perhaps it was an opium den or something, but he seems to be lucid, but it's hard to explain. I've asked him about it, but I'm merely a servant, so he doesn't tell me anything, and he's become quite short-tempered about it. I'm afraid he's fallen in with some people of ill repute, and that made me think of you.
I'm gonna laugh with a har. That's a good one, Mason. And I'll give him a playful slug in the shoulder.
Sure. Now, he kind of stumbled into it, not like he's trying to be mean, but it's just like, oh, that didn't come out right at all.
I'll be like, Mason, I got you into this job. It looks like you stepped on a landmine. That's my own fault. So you got my back. And
Well, jolly good. Thank you, sir. I could use all the help I could get.
So Mason, you said that he doesn't tell you much about the Titus Club, but what were your impressions of it?
Well, first off, there are some men who guard the front entrance, so it is a private club. At first I thought it was a gentleman's club, but Miss Pratchett attends as well, as do other ladies who come and go. It's actually in an old house, built sometime around the 1850s, I think. One of the older houses in French Hill. It's, well, I don't know what more to say. There's no music or anything like that, and I'm turned away at the door, as are all the other servants.
And what about Miss Harper? Does she talk about the club at all?
Miss Pratchett and I do not communicate in such a way.
So it sounds like you need probably a member to vouch for you type private club to get in.
Sounds like that. Actually, if you like, you can make a psychology roll because you asked the question.
Okay. Psychology. So would that be just the regular roll?
It would be. What happens is if your target has a skill of 50 or above, it becomes a hard roll. But if they don't, like he's
I'm almost at that level. It'd be harder to read.
Yeah. So otherwise, it's just normal. He's not particularly good at concealing his emotions.
Okay. 40? No, what is the zero?
Fill in the blanks.
Oh.
What's
I'm not sure the math.
Is it a 10
on all
or a
goes.
0?
No, so it's 0. So
So 30.
30, yes.
Stuff.
So I pass.
Yeah. So you literally read those as the number 3 and then the number 0.
Okay.
Okay? So that's 30. You get a strong sense that he does not care for Miss Pratchett in the slightest.
Okay.
I've put away a little bit of money. If there's expenses or if I can maybe pay you, I'd be more than happy to. It's not much, but it's just, well, in fairness, I like Mr. Addison, and I hate to say anything ill will come of him, and he's kind of a babe in the woods, if you get my meaning.
Does Mr. Addison know that you're talking to us at all about this?
For 10, no, of course not. I would be discharged from service if he knew if I was asking around about this.
So if we go poking around, we should keep this quiet.
Yes.
Now, investigations might be a little bit different when you work for the government. But as a private investigator, you always keep your employee under wraps.
Okay.
You got a lot of street learning to do.
How old is
son.
that?
Addison?
Yeah.
He's 26. Actually, his birthday was in April.
Okay.
Or his birthday was in March. So 26 now. Miss Pratchett is, I believe, just turned 22.
Well done, Addison.
How old's your guy?
After doing that.
You're 25.
Thank you, sir.
You're born in 1900.
I went older with that median detective age that we talked about. Is that too old for the group? Probably.
How old are you?
42.
You're a bit old, yeah.
Yeah.
You actually, believe it or not, you're actually, according to Call of Cthulhu, you've actually crossed the middle age threshold.
Yeah.
People
is
live less
so-
long.
So sad.
Ow, that hurts me right
Yeah,
now.
I know, right?
Okay, I'll bump it down. That one, I thought that might be too long.
Okay.
How old's your
I'm 32.
Okay, so we're the same. I'm 33. So I was just
He's the youngin.
yeah. Okay.
Just the
But I'm
baby.
not going to act
Alright.
because I grew up on the streets, so I got more street savvy than all of you combined, probably,
That's
maybe.
fine.
That's right. He at 25, he looks like 70-year-old Robert De Niro. You talking to me?
What was Mason's background again before the valet stuff? He was in the.
He was in the war.
He was
a veteran.
Yeah, you. So he was in the war. You know that he fought with Miranda, or
Okay.
that they knew each other during the war.
Okay.
Apart from that, you're not really sure.
Well, where do you suggest we start then, Mason? Do you have any contacts in and around the club that we could talk to try and get inside?
Yeah, I'm afraid not. I've asked as many questions as I can without arousing Mr. Addison's anger. I have little else that I can tell you, I'm afraid. There are a couple of things that I can give to you. I can tell you where the Titus Club is. And Mr. Addison does... Now, he calls him by Mr. and his first name, which is a kind of a very traditional kind of fashion for somebody who serves people. He maintains a small apartment in town, down on Beacon Street. I can arrange for you to have a key to that place, as long as Mr. Addison is not present when you're there.
Big grin from OB.
Yeah.
You're like, perfect.
What
That's
street
just
did you
what
say
I
it's
like.
on?
On Beacon Street.
Beacon Street.
Beacon Street is sort of like right down near the harbor. It's a not wealthy, but well-to-do area, right? For someone who's maintaining an apartment, it's a statement of wealth.
Now, when all his behavior changed in February, did you notice any other sort of patterns that he didn't have before that he now engages in?
Well, Mr. Addison was quite an aficionado of art, and he was a painter, although, in fairness, quite terrible. But he hasn't picked up a paintbrush in the last 2 months, and to museums and art shows, and which, in fairness, was most of my life last year. There has been none this year.
Interesting. And is there any other characters that you know that perhaps are involved in the Titus Club that Mr. Addison meets with outside of the club?
Apart from Miss Pratchett, no, I'm afraid not.
So he's,
I don't have any friends who turn in those circles.
maybe just like, since Mason's basically driving him around, right? Like, does he regularly go and visit any people?
So, no.
Okay.
None that I believe are attached to the Titus Club. They're all members of his family or related to the family business.
Okay.
The Anglesleys are investment people. They hold stocks. Okay, they're friends with people like the Rockefellers.
Right. Since we know that Addison goes to the club twice a week, it would probably behoove us to investigate his house when he's at the club.
Indeed.
When will that happen next?
He goes Tuesdays and Fridays.
So tonight.
Tonight.
So
like right now.
You'll be picking him up shortly, will you?
I've already dropped him off. That is how I was able to find him.
And does he typically stay the same amount of time?
It will be. I will call again, probably around 2 or 3, before he'll be ready to depart. He may or may not be coherent.
So
Last Friday, I had to carry him to the car.
So you said you thought it was an opium den at first. Does Mr. Addison have vices? Those kinds of vices?
I'm
sure we'll find out in the apartment.
Mr. Addison? No. This prohibition is not a burden for Mr. Addison in the slightest.
Now, would you like updates on the investigation, or would you just prefer us to drop the revelations when they finally come together?
I'm interested in what happens. However that has to happen is entirely up to you.
Might be best if we limit contact during this investigation.
If Mr. Addison, or someone who knows Mr. Addison, sees me with you and then sees you without me, that might be a problem.
Well, we can always pass information through me. I see him quite regularly.
You might want to curtail that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You do. Actually, you see
more frequently than probably anyone else.
Well, yes, you see Lillian.
Yeah.
Right, about once a week.
Yeah, so I'm around somewhere.
Right. Lillian's the youngest who's teaching to fly.
Yeah, I'm teaching Lillian, so I'm sure me and Mason can communicate if we need to get information.
Do a handoff.
Okay. Now, so he scribbles down the address of the Beacon Hill apartment. As well, he also gives you the address of the Titus Club.
Excellent.
Just had a vision of the sky banner behind the plane. Sorry. Communicate. It's not subtle.
Yeah. No update on case. Skywriting.
That's right. And then you just drive through it.
Nothing yet. Nothing yacht?
Yeah.
What? I think that was an E.
Look under.
Is that handwriting or is that printing? I don't know.
Well, it would probably make sense to carefully search this guy's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
It is in an upscale part of town, so they're...
Did you say how long he usually spends at the Titus Club?
He arrives before dinner time, and last time he went home
undue attention,
like
sir.
at 3.
Now, I'm not suggesting that you look at a place in Beacon Hill. I'm telling you, you look at a place in Beacon Hill, and you know you're going to attract attention.
I think my talents would be better used somewhere else.
Yeah,
all of you kind of look at a place in Beacon Hill.
I don't have to.
That's true. That's true. You do have.
I have resources.
Yep.
So Mason, all the people coming and going from this club, are they all dressed upscale? Like,
oh yes, okay. Yeah, they're the movers and shakers of town. There's a few I've recognized, but you know, I see them at the parties. And who they are, I don't really know. I've talked to their drivers, and in fairness, their drivers have. I'm not the only one who's noticed the difference, but work's hard to find, so we just mind our business.
I have a small amount of skill in disguise. Like, literally, it's a small amount. Would I know where I could source, like, uniforms for other occupations that would help me, like, could I dress up like a valet and escort Miss Miranda here to her place in Beacon Hill, and, like, we could freely walk in there without attracting attention?
So a valet is not necessarily a uniformed person. They're like they're almost like a butler in a way.
Okay.
Right. So they're like a personal manservant. Right. Somebody who would. So as a lady, she would have a maid.
Right.
Right. So you might be able to disguise yourself to follow Mr. Edward, but not to follow Miss Miranda, because that would seem odd.
chauffeur.
Have you
Chauffeur,
seen?
yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet? Have you seen that? No. That
Yeah.
was a good valet character in there. He just like took care of all his things, kind of thing. He
Absolutely.
was like a best friend almost that just like took him around town, etc.
Chauffeur then? Their uniform?
Yes, they
The
can.
hat.
Yeah. It's less so here in America than it is in England. A good suit will generally be enough for a driver.
Do I have a good suit?
If you have a suit that is not made of rayon, yes.
Yeah, I have a wool suit.
Is that what
I'm out.
You are most certainly
Ever
outside.
out.
Yeah.
So a rayon is basically made of natural fibers, and it's the least expensive suit you can buy.
Well,
Shiny.
what size are you guys? Maybe I could lend them a suit so we can get through downtown.
Yeah, if your size is the same.
It's a wolf suit. Wouldn't a
I'm
wolf suit?
I'm size 50.
It's like,
I'm kind of small.
You can
it's a little tight in the inseam.
Yeah. Oh, no way. That's hilarious. Yeah.
What's that? What size are you?
He's also a 60.
It's Tuesday. We have till Friday. I don't think you could get a suit tailored in that amount of time.
No, you have to buy something off the rack.
Yeah. What would a suit have costed back then?
About $15.
$15.
Fiendishly expensive, sir.
Yeah. So cash wise, by the way,
I don't know how much the government pays.
Oh yeah,
for
what is
people.
it? Because it says my savings, but what kind of cash do we have on
yeah.
hand?
So cash on hand, you are considered to be able to spend up to your credit rating times. How's that go? Cash on hand, credit rating times 2 if you're in the category of up to 30. Has anybody got higher than 30 for?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have up to your credit rating times 5
per
day.
that much money
No, per week.
per week. Okay,
Yeah.
so okay, that's quite a bit.
And there's a spending level where it's like, chewing gum you don't need to keep track of.
So
Correct.
Yeah.
So what is the 30 threshold again?
What's that?
What is the 30 threshold for credit?
That's if
34.
you're above that, it means you have a lot more money.
Okay, I had 30 on the nose.
I have 32. 30.
So we
That's what.
that
Yeah.
times 2. You said.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can spend $60 a week. Oh, you don't have a background yours, do you?
I mean, if we have till
Make
Friday,
a note of your.
What's that? Yes, he
cash
does.
levels.
Right there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so
Just a
your
second here.
cash level is 60.
Mason, does Mr. Edison have visitors at all in his apartment? Do you know? Have you seen people coming and going to his
Cash.
apartment?
Normally, we stay in the
Cash.
apartment when he's in the
That's kinda
city
like
for
for
But you're
weeks.
spending.
Otherwise, we go to the estate.
That's where you
the
don't even
last
track how
few
much it
weeks
costs.
while he's
It's
been
like
with
penny cost.
while he's been seeing Miss Pratchett, just have a little bit of acid on Pratchett. He will, if he, for example, sees her on Thursday, he will come in on Wednesday night. Questions?
Does Adson have a room at the family house still?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes.
Can I just tap like an idea roll to propose like we would like to be look appropriate to kind of sleaze our way through Beacon Hill without attracting a lot of attention to walk into this guy's apartment using a key to get in.
Right. Absolutely. So, like, how
you
could
want
you?
me to make a roll?
No. How
Okay.
could you get to his apartment? Without. Well, okay.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, like I'm thinking disguises, but I don't know what the particulars would be. Right. So what would
So the people who come and go from Beacon Hill, first off, there's a doorman at the front door, right?
Right.
But they receive a ton of deliveries and visitors and whatever, right? There's also a lot of workmen who come and go, so it's not unusual for people, wearing suits to be there.
Private nurse.
Yeah, could be. Yep.
So why don't you go up and look super shifty and like get him distracted and totally get in like a go around with him, and the rest of us will just be like, hey buddy, like we need to get on with this, and he'll be like, yeah, you guys you go in because you're not like him. And
So you're not wearing rayon?
yeah, exactly, right?
Rayon?
Like you totally be the diversion.
Yeah, I do that.
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh,
Nothing.
I could name some things.
Would the doorman know everybody that lives there, though?
What's that?
The doorman would know.
Oh, absolutely.
everybody
He knows all
lives
of the
there.
people
You
who live
have
there.
to be a guest.
And it
visiting.
sounds like not that many people visit the apartment, not even.
How hard would it be to
so.
find a list of names who live there? Would our good friend Mason know anyone else?
Drop a name or something, right?
Let's roll for Mason, shall we? We'll roll his knowledge. 24. Yeah. So there is a Mr. Inglesby who lives in the neighboring apartment, and Mr. Pawsey, who's on the second floor. And you're like, that doesn't sound good.
Pawsey?
Pawsey, yeah. Not Ponzi, Pawsey. But he is Italian. He's an Italian gentleman.
And what was the other guy's name?
Inglesby.
And he's a...
He's their neighbor.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't know anything more than that.
Oh, doesn't know ethnicity or anything?
Oh, Mr. Inglesby?
Yeah.
I believe he's American. I believe he's descended from English.
Okay. Well, that's true.
Presumably, there's sort of like a nod and wink arrangement for delivering booze to people's places.
There is, yes.
Can I buy some booze here and deliver it?
Absolutely.
I would like to do that.
Okay, I'm gonna check myself on the money and your spending levels and stuff like that. Okay, so cash, you will have your credit rating times 2 in cash. Okay, and that goes for everybody up to 49. So
Okay, so I'm still below.
yes,
Okay.
you have to be 50, not 31.
Destitute like the rest of us.
Yes. Okay, so that's your cash level. Assets are taken care of. Spending level is 10. Okay? So what happens is up to $10, it can come and go as long as you're not abusing it. You know, I'm not going to count you buying dinners and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, however, if you want to do something like,
Buy some booze.
right,
Or a suit.
Or suits.
or a suit or something like that, then it comes out of your cash. Okay? Your cash is refreshed every adventure.
Okay.
Okay? Cool?
Yep.
Okay, good. That was going to bother me. Okay. So, yeah, so there's probably a number of ways you can get up there.
That would be destruction.
What if
Friendly.
what if one of us got up there while he was home to talk to him under some pretense, like
Mr. Addison?
yeah?
Are you asking Mason or are you
Yeah.
asking me as a GM?
No, I'm asking you as Mason. Would Mr. Addison be interested in any kind of meeting art dealers or anything? Is there any way we could get into his apartment while he's home, just to see if anything is amiss?
So, Mason's not super clever, okay?
Okay.
So he says, if you asked me in November, I would suggest if you were an art dealer, that absolutely he would say yes. But like I said, in the last few months, he hasn't been interested in anything except for Miss Pratchett and the Titus Club. He does his business, but even his father's complaining that his work has been perfunctory.
Okay, and what about Miss Pratchett? We know where Mr. Addison lives, but where do you pick Miss Pratchett up from? Or is she often at his apartment?
No, Miss Pratchett meets us at the Titus Club.
Oh, okay.
Or wherever it is that we are to go. Sometimes she does have a family home, but it is in the outskirts of Boston.
So she doesn't attend the apartment. That would kind of be
Heavens
like,
no.
okay, not,
Attend.
yeah. They're far too,
Yes.
okay, gotcha.
So this apartment, we'd have to go look. We would he wouldn't be able to tell us what it looked like and all that kind of stuff. Like if there's back stairs and that kind of thing. Like he's just kind of
So there's an elevator, obviously, which is not obviously. It's actually it's an expensive building if there's a private elevator.
Mm-hmm.
There is a back stairwell. There's also you get all this information by just going there, but there's also a fire escape. So,
Is it trivial to get up these fire escapes?
not trivial. It's a dex roll to grab the fire escape, or you need something tall enough that you can stand on it. The rail slides down to prevent street ruffians from climbing up them.
Well, it sounds like we have some talking to do amongst ourselves. We need to figure out a way to get into the apartment and see what's going on. Mason has definitely piqued my interest. I'm eager to find out what's happening.
I don't think we need to talk this over too much. It's obvious we have a plan right now. We'll just show up, breeze past that guard, and start investigating that apartment. I mean, time's a ticking. That boy's going to be back, in 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And if we need to leave that apartment looking like we didn't throw it over, then we'll have to take our time there rather than wasting time making plans. It's obvious how we're going to get in.
I like to follow the book a little bit more. I think we should case the place at least a little bit.
I'm entirely unsurprised, sir.
Biff, biff, biff. Okay, we're charging in.
You and your government regulations.
All right. Yeah. So if that's the case, he seems to be anxious to go. Like he's like, there is some chance that they'll need me for something. So I should return. All right. Thank you. He also says if you need to contact him, obviously you can reach him by phone at the house, like at the Anglesey house. However, he also has a mailbox where you can actually leave messages for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dead drop.
Well, so in this day and age, bear in mind, there's no cell phones, right? And so even yeah, exactly. Even at, like, for example, the apartments, like you live in a boarding house, right? I think one of you lives in a boarding house. Yeah. There's one phone downstairs, right? Not every room has a phone.
Party line.
Exactly, right? And so the ability to communicate, like the post offices in this day and age, they do much more than just mail the occasional letter, right? They're a place where you can receive packages or letters just from people, or where you can people can drop messages for you if they want to employ you. Like if you're a moving company, they couldn't call you. You had to have some place to go to contact them. So what they would do is you would drop messages at post office and they would pick them up and respond to you, et cetera, et cetera. So if you wanted to plan something in advance, you really had to plan it in advance.
Has Mason
and the police have call boxes.
Exactly.
They have the police key.
Has Mason been drinking while we were here? Like, has he, or before we got here, or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
No. He, you have all seen him drink. He is working tonight, and he's wearing his close to his best, in order to look good for Mr. Addison, but, yeah.
I'll make some sort of like anachronistic comment, like, "Oh, come on, it's not like there's a law against drinking and driving."
The world goes. Okay.
I think we need to give him a.
All right. Okay. He awkwardly.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Miss Miranda.
I pat him on the back. Like, don't worry, good friend. We'll help you. We'll figure it out.
I feel much better that I know I can count upon you. Oh, thank you. And with that, he hurries off. He's not running away, but he's obviously anxious to get back before he's missed. All right, so it sounds like you guys are headed someplace.
What time? You said it was 7.
Yeah, you guys met them 7. You only spoke to him for about half an hour. He's anxious to be away. So
we still have time. You said he arrives around dinner time, and he doesn't leave the Titus Club until around 3.
Correct, and he doesn't eat before he goes to the Titus Club. So obviously, there's some food that's being served there.
Oh, before. Can I? What are the names yet? These first names.
Renee.
I'm terrible with names.
OB or Obadiah, whichever you think your character would actually use.
And Miranda.
Mr. Obadiah.
And Eddie.
I think Mason probably calls you
Eddie.
Obadiah.
Probably.
Call you Eddie.
Yeah.
Oh, Eddie.
I would just call
It was fun looking at names for this period.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So-
So,
sorry, go ahead.
no, please.
What is it?
Miranda.
Miranda.
So, OB, do you intend to go to the apartment and see what's going on there?
Heck yes. That's our purview here.
It's an opportunity to dress up.
How far is this place from here?
Beacon Hill, 15 minutes by car.
Do we have a car?
Actually, you have 2 cars.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay, so you have 2 cars.
Let's drive.
You have the government issued car, which is a Buick. Okay, manufactured last year
Like brand new?
Black.
in
Last year.
1924,
Yeah.
and yours was manufactured in 1919. Okay, so there's
Ford?
been a significant. What's that?
Ford.
No, it is a Dodge. It's under
An S1.
Yes.
And a tire repair kit that I probably have to use a lot.
Yeah. So for you, like your car, like the S1 has about 30-45 horsepower, some 30 to 45 horsepower, depending on the engine and the kind of fuel you put into it. So, whereas the Buick, its engine is like 60 horsepower, like, you know,
You're not.
it'll get up to
Muscle car.
50 miles an hour.
Damn. American ingenuity at its best.
Well, this is the era when they started building hot rods.
Now, which of these cars is going to attract a lot more attention in Beacon Hill?
Yours, because it's beat up. I did say used, right? On your car.
What I think we should
You know,
do...
yes, you did. Even if you didn't, it would make sense.
What I think we should do is that if you want to go check out the apartment, I think we should split into teams. One of us going to the apartment and one of us going to the Titus Club, just to get our own impressions of how Mr. Addison comes out of the club.
Okay.
I absolutely want to go to the apartment because I can dress up. Any opportunity to dress up.
So then, Renee, do you want to go to the Titus Club and see what's what?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. So it sounds like you two are going to
We
the
can
apartment.
switch cars if we need to keep up appearances in Beacon Hill.
And
Am I allowed
where's
to-
the Titus Club? Is it in upmarket place or kind of?
It's actually, sorry.
Sorry, you're the pilot, right?
No, I'm the pilot.
Oh, you're the driver. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually on Bunker Hill. So sort of in one of the swankier neighborhoods, like there are places there with walls around them.
Oh, okay.
You know?
So I should probably still have the nice vehicle just in case.
Well, you don't have to park close.
No.
right?
Yeah, Beacon. Okay, so these are both upscale places.
Yeah.
All right. We'll drop you off. We'll give you the key. You walk in. I'll try and bluff my way past this guy as a booze runner.
All right.
We'll meet on the appropriate floor.
All right.
If you can't get in, just get in when I have a row with this guy.
All right. Your place will be closer. Beacon Hill's only about 15 minutes by car, so we'll come back to you guys next.
Okay.
Okay, so the two of you hop into the right, and you guys agree, because you can't call each other, to meet.
Oh, yeah. Where are we going to meet afterwards? Somewhere in the middle. That's between Beacon Hill and Bunker.
Coffee shop.
Was that coffee
Right.
shop?
Yeah, it's lots of coffee shops. Probably open late.
Yeah.
Sure.
Inconspicuous. No one would sort of think of 4 people getting together.
Okay, sounds good. So you guys name a coffee shop. You
The
all know the
Lucky
city. Yeah, sure. Well, it's probably more like Moe's Coffee Shop. It's
Are
that
these
creative.
places
The
where it's
Empress.
like it costs
The
5
Empress
cents
coffee
for a dish
shop.
of food and you can eat all day around?
Breakfast is 45 cents,
Okay.
right? And that's
I do like a breakfast.
Is it like chrome finishings and white everywhere? Is that a little bit later?
that's a bit later.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys find yourselves outside of the apartment in Beacon Hill or Beacon Street. It's a busy street. There's a lot of comings and goings, cars, people walking on the street. There are some upper class shops here, which are, they're closed, but their people are still window shopping, right? Where do you get changed? Dying to know that.
How far away do you live?
I probably went home first.
Okay. Yeah, you live near the hospital, so because you walk to work, you don't have a car.
So is that close?
Yeah, it's
I'll drive you there and wait outside.
Oh, thank you.
yeah.
As appropriate.
All right.
Such judgment.
All right. So yeah, she comes out. What were you wearing when you went to the bar?
Just blouse trousers. So,
Okay. Okay.
Yes. think we're gonna go with the tweed suit. Not the dress, the tweed suit. Smart.
Okay.
Oh my.
Wow, you clean up pretty nice there, Miranda.
All right. Yeah, so you arrive up front. Sure enough, there's a doorman.
I wouldn't stop you from walking into my apartment.
Wouldn't kick you out of bed for eating crackers.
I would absolutely kick my wife out of bed for you.
Yeah, I might have. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys find yourselves at... she's wondering where the petticoat is. Or they're wondering is where the petticoat is.
Next time.
Yeah. Nice.
Now that I have a challenge. Challenge accepted.
I have so many outfits to wear. I'm so excited.
I have a box.
Okay.
So wait, as like
I think I might have to.
as a private eye, and like having some terribly low skill at disguise, I'm wondering if I'd have like some of my clothing in my trunk, and I literally just
This will do.
pull into an alley and like
This
change
probably-
out of my
probably.
trunk.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, I'll change into my nice suit out of my trunk and like
You have a nice suit? A wool suit.
wool
Wool
suit.
Yeah, okay.
A
Did you
modest
buy
suit.
Did you buy a couple of bottles
Yes.
of gin?
Yeah. Whatever it's
tea?
marketed
Yeah.
as.
Officially it's gin, but it's rough.
Medical alcohol, usually.
Yeah.
Paint remover.
Bagasso. Have you guys had Bagasso?
You made them drink it, I think.
I think I made you drink
No,
it.
what is
It's that
that?
moonshine stuff I brought back from Portugal.
Oh.
You didn't?
Melts your eyeballs.
Could be worse
Does
than
your throat
Hutterick
feel like it's
moonshine?
suddenly swelled shut right after you
It could
take
be
a
any
shot?
worse than Hutterick moonshine.
Probably not.
All right. Okay. So you find yourselves outside of the apartment. This is a marble building, marble facade at least. It's 6 stories tall. Okay. It is built in the very traditional architectural style, meaning that it's all classical proportions, right? Like the door is exactly 1 by 3 by 9 kind of idea. Like like the magic ratio, right? Which makes a lot of these buildings kind of look identical to one another. Okay. Large windows. It's a wealthy person's place. As you approach, sure enough, outside you see a doorman. He's actually kind of pacing back and forth. There's a bit of an awning, and he's standing underneath that. You actually have to jog through the now lightly falling rain to arrive at the door. Are you guys arriving together? Are you walking up together? Is that the idea? Okay. All right. So who's arriving first?
I think the plan was for her to go first.
Act like I belong
Yep.
All right.
No, wait.
there. No.
Yes, no, you're gonna try and get in, and if you couldn't, you turn away, and then when I get in a fight with this guy, if necessary, you get in.
Can I go in? No. All right, I'll go in now. Okay. Okay, so you arrive. What's your appearance?
Very smart. Almost business-like.
No, appearance.
Oh,
Your
in
staff.
It's an attribute.
The suit is grey. We can,
Do you
60.
really have to reduce these
Okay,
things
so what
to
we do,
numbers?
your appearance is actually, it judges your first opinion of you, okay? I'm going to say that, the doorman is straight and he, is a sort of an average guy, so this would be an average appearance roll. You can make your roll.
It's just these two.
Yep.
I'll ask that every time for you. Sometimes. That is a 7 and a 1.
Okay, so that is a fail. Okay? So what that means is that he's neutral. Okay?
Okay.
So as you approach the door, he's like, ma'am?
Good afternoon.
He kind of puts his hand on his door. It's like, are you visiting someone, ma'am?
Yes, we have to see Mr. Inglesby.
Charm.
That's the same thing too?
It's
Always
the
do?
skill.
Yep, always those.
It has to be less than that number.
Yes.
95. Damn, I tripped.
Hi, I'm here to see Mr. Ingles. Hello. Okay, so let's talk about botching. Okay, so 95 to 100 is considered to be a significant failure.
Oh, good thing I only rolled a 90 on the last one.
So, what, 200?
So
90 to 100.
So
95.
My apologies. 96 to 100.
Is it possible to get your
95.
skills up that high?
Oh yeah,
Because it's you roll the percentage when you use those skills or something, and then they can go up.
that's correct. Yes. Oh right. You can put a check mark beside charm, and you can put a check mark beside psychology.
Awesome. Psychology's a good thing.
As soon as you use the skill successfully. No, you didn't use charm successfully. Sorry, no check mark for you.
It's only successful. Okay.
Yes, has to be a success.
And how many skills can we raise in game? Is it all
How many
the ones-
skills can you use in a game?
How
Okay.
often do you check for advances? Is it per adventure or is it
Uh,
a couple sessions?
per
or-
adventure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so he says, "I'm afraid registered guests only, ma'am, and I don't recognize you. I don't mean to be rude, but I must turn you away. It is my job."
Would you have a list of registered guests? What does that mean?
Are you asking me or
Yeah,
him?
you.
He's
What
like,
do you
what?
mean I'm not on the list?
He is. So registered. What happened would be everybody who lives in the building. They would know the doorman, and they would basically, when somebody comes to visit them, they'd say, "Oh yeah, this guy, he's my friend. Whenever he comes, let them in."
Right.
Right? Otherwise, he would ring up. Okay. Now you made it seem like, you belonged here, and he didn't believe you, right? So what he does, he says, I'm afraid I don't recognize you, ma'am. Would you like me to call Mr. Inglesby and introduce you and announce you?" He seems to be calling your bluff.
I'd like to act like I'm someone who would not want to have announced coming. Oh, Inglesby would not.
Fast talk.
Wouldn't he?
When an appropriate duration has passed, if I can tell
Yeah.
she's sort of being stonewalled,
Yep.
I'll walk up.
That's perfect. I was wondering kind of what
This is
fast
gonna be
talk
a
would be used for. That's
massive
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect example.
01.
32.
32.
That is less. That is
Take a check mark.
Oh, you're a fast talker.
Yes, I am.
All right.
I don't normally fail.
All right. From Miss Rose's house.
Probably.
Excellent, thank you. And here's a little something for you.
Okay. How much do you give him?
What would be appropriate?
Couple bucks.
$9.
$1.
Yeah.
A couple bucks would be a generous tip.
Some fat
Pass
sheesh.
that in.
Okay.
It'll be our little secret. Wink.
Okay. As you kind of depart, he says, "Perhaps if you have time later, I'm able
Please be
to
your
spend
card.
some of my savings."
That's made
Okay.
I'll collect your calling card on the way out.
All right. Okay. So you walk past him.
Is that a double entendre?
Okay. So yeah. So there's a moment you're like, "Oh, she's in trouble," and you're done. Okay. Yeah, your turn, big guy.
Yeah, I'll walk right up and I'll be like, "Oh, delivery," and I'll like have my hand in my coat and I'll like clink clink, kind of like make it totally obvious that this is like one of those deliveries that's like on the down low.
Delivery for who?
I'm like, obviously neither of us really want to know names. I've just been given an address, sir. I don't want to cause any trouble for you. I don't want to cause any trouble for me. And let me say, the delivery doesn't go through. I know trouble's going to fall on both of us. And I'm damn sure I'm going to make sure it don't fall on me as hard as it falls on you.
Intimidate.
Yes. 26. That is substantially less than my intimidate.
Okay. Check mark? Yeah. Okay. All right. Don't get your bees up your ass.
Zzz, I'll just like...
He kind of lets you in. What a funny night.
I'll like bridle at him a bit.
All right, okay. All right. Okay, so you pretend to be basically a thug. Okay.
Pretend.
Delivery!
What do you mean pretend? I am a thug.
I'm insulted.
I'm not a pretend thug. I'm gonna get real. Come on. Okay. So you meet him. Who had the key?
Me.
All right. Okay, so you arrive at 505, which
Second
is
floor. Was there a second
Mr.
floor?
No,
Pawsey
that
lives
was-
on the second floor.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Inglesby lives beside him on the fifth
On the
floor.
5th, yes.
505 is his apartment.
Okay.
The cards.
So, you know, Aaron, when something can happen, which is unusual or out of the sorts, you know, what I'm basically doing here is I'm seeing are there any extra challenges, right? I use cards for this, okay, and it's just, you know, if something untoward happens, right? Generally, it's royalty that you're trying to avoid.
Can I show that screen?
Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely.
You're-
That's that
you're
screen
gonna
right
need
there.
the map screen,
Yeah, it's that
right?
screen right there.
But I said I would change it now.
Okay, sure. Okay, so you find yourselves, so you're standing outside the door. You put the key in. It's a well-made lock. You turn it on the door, and the door glides open.
Click.
The place has a meticulous feel to it. Obviously, a maid, or the place is cleaned on a regular basis. Okay, it is a. I'm almost going to say standard apartment for this day and age. There are two fairly large bedrooms, both of which are very well appointed. And then there's a smaller bedroom, which is near the front door, which actually has a pair of single beds in it. Meaning it's probably where like a maid or a valet or something like that would stay. Okay, this is at a time where people who are affluent actually, they all have servants, right? And so they have to stay somewhere, and this is where they'd stay. Okay, there's a large kitchen, a dining room, and then not necessarily a living room, but a parlor. Okay, and here you can see like a humidor with cigars, bookshelves covered with books, heavy velour draperies. The place just, it reeks of money spent poorly. Okay, everything's made of crystal and and
Garish.
and unlike a lot of places like
You
that
probably
you attend,
appreciate that more than me. I'm probably like, oh, this is pretty nice. And you're like, oh.
this is in style in Paris in the 1850s. So unlike places where poor people live, they don't keep their hooch underneath the sink. It actually sits in the actual bottles in which it's supposed to be, because for the rich, the ability to get alcohol is pretty much unrestricted. Right? Okay. So, what do you guys do?
I'm sure they're not marked. I'll probably notice you looking, be like,
Oh, yeah,
I'll
I
be
have a
like,
thing for the martini.
I'm totally gonna be like, yeah, they aren't gonna notice if the little's gone. Help yourself.
You make yourself a martini?
I might just do that.
Can I jigger the lock so someone won't accidentally come in on us while we're searching the place?
Yes, actually, or there's actually a door jamb used to hold the door open, which you can just put on the other side.
Do that.
Okay.
Are the draperies wide open? As we turn
No,
the lights
they
on?
are
Okay,
closed.
So
It is April. It's cool outside, and you lose a lot of heat through the windows.
perfect.
Okay. You do, however, the lights kind of and they come on. This place actually has electric lamps and a phone in the actual apartment.
This kid's loaded.
What kind of books on the shelf? As I'm looking through them.
There are a series of books that every wealthy house has. Okay, and
Classics.
you're pretty sure that there's a bookshelf that says, okay, these are the 600 books you need to put on your shelves, and if you don't have all of these, you're
not
definitely
in the
behind the
club.
times.
Yes.
Okay, the one thing you do notice is that all the books, although they are dusted, they don't look like they've seen a lot of use. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
The core books. We know all about those.
Can we get rid of these books? No, they're perfect decor. Okay. So yes, the apartment itself, it's a crash pad for some wealthy dilettante.
Let us split up how we're searching.
I'll check the bar.
If you're gonna be hunting for their books, pull each one off and see if there's anything.
Oh, false look.
Yeah.
That could be a false look.
I want to look for maybe like a pile of documents or something that the maid probably cleans up when he like empties out his pants, or like, you know, the maid empties out his pants and just piles up for like.
Absolutely. Okay, so these are
flyers and
spot
stuff,
hidden
yeah.
rolls. Okay, now you can. It's a standard roll. Okay, what you'll do is that if you're looking, so you can make the roll. One thing you should know is that you can push rolls. Okay, so what pushing a roll means is if you fail and you want to try again, there are a lot of circumstances where, like for example, we're going to do it like a search of the place. It's like, okay, you don't find anything with your spot roll, for example. Okay, well, can we roll again? Yes, if you take a whole bunch of time, or if you rip the place apart. See what I'm saying?
Okay.
But like there's some price to it, right?
Then we'll just set a fire to cover the factory.
Yeah, burn the place down, and so it begins. What's that?
I was ready.
Okay,
Arsonist.
arsonist. Yeah. My character concept is arsonist. Is that going to fit with this campaign?
Let's get through this.
So
So yeah.
Eventually.
Very good.
So spot notice.
Just roll our spot.
Me too, if it
Yep.
looks.
I pass.
Oh, damn.
I think you need to do percent
Tick.
dice.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you search the books. There's actually a few books here that you haven't actually read before. You're like, oh, that's really kind of
It fits in my handbag.
Enthralled
I've
with it. You
always
probably
thought-
sit down and you're like drinking and reading
Yeah,
while I'm like
exactly.
diligently.
You can imagine, right? Yeah, it's
Like, what
two
the
different
shit
forms
are
of searching.
you doing? Not in this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is actually a checkbook. Okay, and this is not like the little checkbooks that we get today, right? This is actually a bank draft book. Okay, so it's quite large. You know, you tear out, you have the forms. When you peruse through it, you don't know anything about accounting, do you?
I know 5%.
Yeah. All right. So what
I
I am going to
recognize
say
this
is,
is a checkbook.
without being able, so you can't do any forensic accounting.
Yeah.
That's good because your ledger's here. But he has written two fairly substantial checks, or three fairly substantial checks, two to the Titus Club within the last 2 months, and it just says dues on them. However, the dues apparently are $1,000.
A month?
Well, he wrote them twice. Once in March and once in April, both on the 1st.
I don't know this
2,000
yet.
each?
What's that?
Did you say 2,000?
1,000
each?
Right?
It's a fantastic amount of money.
It is.
Kidding, my entire savings is
Yeah.
bad.
And he also wrote another check for $600 to a fellow by the name of Landry Kittredge. And underneath, it says Harper/Ring.
Oh my word.
Okay.
What?
Apart from that,
It's an engagement ring.
the place is immaculate. Okay, so there's no dirty laundry. There's no spare paper, anything like that. The book was neatly put away, right? If there was anything hidden here, you could try looking again, but
It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like a place that somebody lives or spends a lot of time.
This is where he sleeps.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and not only that, like for clothing, there's a bathrobe.
Oh, so he does the walk of shame after he.
Or his valet carries a trunk of his clothes with him everywhere he goes.
Oh. And how about the servants' room? That's basically unoccupied?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
It's been made up at the same amount of, like the same, right?
So it feels like if someone walked into this place, we could hide in one of the bedrooms and sneak out, and it would probably be just fine. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna come out and be like, very interesting, very interesting. I got some How's your search going there, Miranda?
Fantastic. Nothing here. Nothing in the books. Nothing at all.
I'll like reach over and take your glass from you and be like, time to leave.
Can you make a con check, please?
Oh, what?
Con check.
Constitution.
42. Yes.
Yeah. You've had 3 martinis every night for the past week. You're good.
I'll clean the glass and put it away.
All right.
Awfully good of you.
Yeah, it ain't out of the goodness of my heart that we're doing this.
All right.
Gotta cover your tracks.
So you think maybe the apartment's a dead end?
Okay. We'll show ourselves out.
Okay.
Together.
All right. You depart the apartment.
I'll take a little longer.
About the time they're departing, you guys actually finally arrive at the Titus Club. Okay? The Titus Club is, sure enough, an old building. Oops, pardon me. That looks a lot like that.
Very nice. Do these pop up for the feet? These pop up for the nice.
Yes.
The house itself, you don't know much about architecture, but it's very similar to a lot of the older Boston houses. It's a wealthy area of town. Unlike, it is actually in a suburban area of town. Okay, on either side of it, there are fairly expensive mansions, and as you approach, as you drive the car up, you arrive in time to see a Duesenberg limousine actually pull up. The driver kind of come around and let some people out. A man dressed in, black and white, like the, tie, et cetera, silk scarf, top hat.
Black tie affair.
As well as, a pair of ladies sort of jumps out of the car and giggling, they kind of run up to the house. Okay? At the house, at the front door, there are 2 men who are dressed in suits. Okay? But you can tell that they are definitely to keep the riffraff out. Okay? So the man stops, shows them some sort of placard, and then all 3 of them go in.
I want to... So you said it's a residential neighborhood. What's across? You said 2 houses on the outside. What's across the street? Just more houses? Is it like a neighborhood?
Directly, there is a neighborhood, yeah. So directly across the street, there's actually like a 7-Eleven, like a walled estate. So you can actually see, there's actually a wall with spikes on the top, big trees on the other side, and a gate.
Okay.
How close do you want to be to watch this place?
Yeah, are there any alleyways or anything between the houses?
No, but the couple things to bear in mind. This is the 1920s. There aren't streetlights every 30 meters.
Right.
Right? So it's pretty easy to sit in the gloom and just sit in the gloom. The street's also littered with cars. It would appear that whatever's happening here, there's quite a few people inside.
Okay. So, and what about sidewalk traffic? Is there people milling around or anything like that?
Yes. Okay, so it'd be about 8 o'clock at night, or 9 o'clock, or 8:30 at night by the time you get here. I'm going to say there is some sidewalk traffic, but the neighborhood is not densely populated.
Yeah.
So, you see, a man out walking his dog.
Do we know what car Mason was driving?
Oh, when you saw it leave? Yeah. So he has an actual, a Stutz, which is sort of a more expensive car. It's a big V12 or V10, right? It's a fairly common town car for wealthier folk.
Okay.
Do you see it here? Not obviously, no.
Not obviously, okay.
Sure.
'Cause it's still
I'm sure the
around-
drivers are told to pull around somewhere off to the side.
Exactly, somewhere.
How long would it have taken us to get there from the pub?
Half an hour, 40 minutes.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
only about 8 o'clock?
Yeah, it's about 8:30 by the time you get here altogether. What is it? Yeah, 8:30, somewhere in there. You check your wristwatch, pocket watch, whatever you have, and 8:15. We'll split the difference if it's important.
Might be.
Maybe. Okay. When the door opens, by the way, you can hear music coming from within, and as soon as the door closes, it's muted.
Okay.
Right. There are no open windows. They're all covered by curtains. Okay. Although you can see the light sort of filtering out through the curtains.
Okay, Renee, I think we should find a place to park the car and at least take a look around, but I think we should wait until, or maybe stake out the street until we see Mason's car coming, and then wait for, I keep forgetting names. Wait for Addison to leave the club to get in the car, and what's the word? No, not quite. Create a situation where we make contact with him. What do you think?
Sure.
Even into
Yep.
just bump into him or get close enough to see if there's anything unusual about his character. As he
About
leaves the
following
club.
someone else's plan is you get to blame him when it goes sideways.
Absolutely.
How close is the entrance of the house to the street? Is there a walkway or?
Yeah, there's a walkway. It goes up probably a good 40 feet or so to the actual house itself. Across a very well manicured lawn, there's like a big maple tree sort of in the front yard. Right?
Is it well lit, the pathway?
No. There's lights from the porch lights and the street lights, maybe 100 feet down the street, but it's pretty much pitch black, right?
Okay.
Like when the man and the two women sort of got out of the car, they kind of struggled across the grass. One woman's shoe kind of sinking into the grass. Much giggling, helping. Then they find the pathway and they find their way up.
So if the guards, they're at the actual house, not like by the sidewalk?
No, that's correct. They're right by the porch.
Okay.
They're beside the door.
Okay. After surveilling the house, or like the pathway and stuff, then
Surveilling.
we're taking a look. What's the
Government
word?
agent.
Perusing.
No, that's it.
I think we should wait until we see Mason's car, and then pretend like when we see Mr. Addison coming out of the club, walk up to the club as if we're going inside, and like come in contact with him on the path. Let him know that we're part of the club so that he trusts us, but maybe just be able to judge if anything's amiss about him. And then we can, go to the guards and get turned away all we want. It doesn't matter. We've already done what we need to do.
Sure.
All right.
While we're waiting, I think we should take some license plates down. I feel like with you in your position, you'd be able to find out who maybe a few other patrons are, and maybe we can
Absolutely.
find another way to get in without tipping our hand to Addison.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Good idea.
Let's do that then.
All right.
Take some of theirs.
Okay. You easily collect 20 license plates. They're all Massachusetts. Okay. I'm assuming there's license plates by this time. There's got to be, right?
Some sort of identifier.
Some registry tags. You collect 25 registry tags.
Okay.
Okay. 20. Sorry. You stop at 20. You're not sure exactly how much desire you are going to have to, look up dozens and dozens of these tags. Now, are you looking for more ordinary cars, or are you looking for more expensive cars?
I'm going to say expensive cars.
What about
I want to see who's...
What about if we watch for people to come out of the club and then see what
Okay.
car they go into and write those down?
Yep.
Sure, absolutely.
It's a proper stakeout.
Yeah, like a real stakeout.
You're gonna, write down descriptions of the people and the times they're leaving.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys make stealth rolls. Okay. Now, you will actually have you'll have what's called an advantage on this. What this means is you're actually going to roll only one d10, but you're going to roll 2 of the percentile dice, and you take the best one.
Okay.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you have a dice that is labeled with 10, 60, whatever. So roll 2 of those,
Yeah.
and then whatever the last dice is.
Okay. So let's go. 20 and 90. I will take a 20.
Okay.
How about 10 and
27.
10?
Hot dog.
10 and 10. What?
Yeah.
Oh,
I got
okay.
10 twice.
Okay. So that's good.
So 90. Oh,
Yeah, you
sorry.
guys can both make
20,
stealth checks.
27.
Okay. Or put check marks beside
take
your stealth skill.
your
Take
skill.
your skill. Okay. You sort of hang out in the car, and as you're hanging out in the car, yeah, and it's like you actually see a pair of like one of the men actually leaves the door, and he begins to walk out down the path, right? And he's got a cigarette, fedora on, and he's kind of walking along as if checking to make sure everything's okay. Okay. As he arrives with you guys, you're out kind of collecting tags, right? You're like, oh, that can't be good. Okay. And so you both, kind of freeze and blend into the darkness, and he passes by. Okay. He's a big lad. Okay. His neck is like the size of your leg. Okay. And so he wanders by, and you continue to collect tags. From within, you can hear, as you get closer to the house, you can hear like this sort of distant din of jazz music playing. But then, strangely, or a change happens. And what that change is as you are sort of collecting these tags and dodging guards, the music suddenly stops. Okay, and then you hear a single sort of unified cheer from inside, as if something big was about to happen. Okay, and then the house goes silent.
There's only one guard up there right now.
There's only one guard up there right now. That's correct. The other one is sort of wandering the streets and the.
How far is he?
Well, we established it's about 40 feet between the walkway and.
So he's further than that and
Sorry?
past us. So he's further than that and he's past us wherever we.
Oh, how far away is the guard that's walking?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, so what happened was he kind of walked down the street. He kind of surveilled the cars, and now he's kind of walked out across the darkened lawn into the backyard.
But he's out of sight.
Oh, yeah.
So, Edward, how high did you boost your garage skill?
Okay, I'm just gonna grab myself some coffee. I'll be right back.
I'm like very, what's the word?
Cerebral?
Very small.
Spelt.
I'm a small man. I'm not corroding anybody.
Eurofit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely somewhat of a dandy.
All right.
Corrupt cops get away with a lot this era. I'm just wondering what a corrupt FBI agent can get away with.
I think FBI at the time was chosen. I think most of the FBI at the time was like really squeaky clean dudes. They were all like handpicked, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I have a coaster?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, sir. Okay. So, what are you thinking, Renee?
I was wondering if you want to get in.
Into the club?
I think I can distract the guard at the door if you think he can sneak in quickly.
I don't know about that, Renee. I think tonight is just about assessing the situation.
No risk, no reward, my friend.
Come on, Eddie. Live a little.
Okay, so one thing you should know about
Did you go to
Eddie
war? I have a question. Did you go to war?
No. I'm
Right.
like went to college.
Right.
I went to law school in Cambridge, and then came.
I'm going to make some sort of comment about like you would never have made it. You would never have made it on the line out with that.
I know
kind of
law.
attitude.
I know the letter of the law. Yeah, and like forensic science and psychology and that kind of thing.
Bit of a good
Not a
intentions.
cracking skull.
Well, good thing you're not
swallowing.
curious or anything, though.
Yeah. Oh right.
Just saying.
Yes.
Damn.
What
it's
about
curious.
the windows of that? Is there other like it's covered in windows like that? Are there are the blinds drawn on all the windows and all that?
Well, it's dark, so you assume the curtains are drawn.
Right.
The chat says, do it.
Yeah. Yes.
Obey the chat.
I mean, with one guard at the door,
I can easily distract
we
him.
should be able to sneak around.
Well, the other guy's wandering around the back.
Then what's the plan?
Well,
Go in the front door?
I'll distract him, and you sneak in through the front door.
Am I
What do you
dressed
mean,
well
right
enough
into
to
the front?
pass in the crowd inside?
What suit are you wearing?
Which is my nicest?
The good one.
Yeah, the nice one. I guess the mohair would probably be the nicer of the one of the suits, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a business suit.
Yeah.
What do you have?
Mohair, worsted, corduroy, Norfolk. Yeah, Norfolk is like a hunting jacket.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Mohair is probably the nicest.
Yes.
Goat hair.
But there was like men in tuxedos and things.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's like draped.
Yeah.
It's funny when you have a system that actually has sizing, right? Can I loot the armor? I don't know. What's your size?
So what are you thinking, Eddie?
I don't know.
You always have the FBI badge.
I know.
Ooh.
I don't know if I want to pull it out this early.
I'm sure that would go really well in a
that,
house full
yes.
of cultists.
Yeah.
Cultists.
God, what? Do it. Poor Mo is hairless now. Yeah.
The mohair.
I wonder if that's like shaving your head for cancer.
Maybe you should distract it for Renee.
Yeah. How about I do that? How about I go talk to guards?
This
Because
is gonna go
I
wrong,
actually
boys.
assumed when I went to this that I probably wasn't dressed up to meet with our friend Mason, and I'm probably wearing my like flying leather coat. Hence why I think I'm probably a better distraction at this stage.
I don't think I'm well dressed to get to pass either, unless I'm going as a servant. Even then, I'm not wearing like.
Once you're in though. You just have to bluff your way by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fast dog or something, don't you?
No.
Persuade?
No.
Charm?
Well, charm, yes.
There you go,
Totally
charm!
charming, Eddie. Do it.
Yeah, intimidate is my skill, so I plan to use intimidate as much as possible.
I saw where you're going.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like it if it got stuck. That's intimidate. Congrats. Okay, I don't know. So what are you going to do here, Eddie?
I just want to wait until Addison comes out and
So,
see what move
okay,
he's
so
in.
I'm just going to pause you there for a moment.
Sure.
One thing you do recall, the last time Addison left, he was incoherent,
Yeah.
right? So if you're looking to have a conversation when he leaves, chances are you won't be able to.
Not a conversation. No, I just wanted to like bump into him and see if there's anything odd about him. Like
Other than being incoherent?
yeah, like
Would you know
shaky
Classic
or
bump into him and
Let me give you a quick medical exam.
But you survey him inside.
Yeah.
this gentleman needs more fun.
Opportunity pass. Other guard walks back.
Okay.
Do laps.
You guys are debating this in the car, and
Yeah.
the guard returns.
Okay.
Okay. You're staked out in the car. The house goes quiet, and there's definitely like before you could kind of hear muffled voices and conversation and all that kind of stuff. However, after that sort of cheer, there is now just a period of silence, right? Every so often one of the guards kind of checks inside the door. Of course you can't hear them. They're talking back and forth. The cycle is pretty regular. About every half an hour or so, one of the guards lights a cigarette and goes on a tour around the place. Okay, they never go inside the building. Okay, as the night grows on, it starts to get a little bit colder. Right, the rain starts to get a little bit heavier, and the guards though they still continue with a regularity. Okay, around do you just continue to stake out?
How far is like the closest convenience store?
No.
Something
that's open at this time of night.
Well,
What are you looking for?
I was just looking to go get supplies. We're gonna be sitting here all night. It's a stakeout.
Yeah. Okay. Roll an intelligence check.
69.
And your intelligence is?
70.
You're like, wait, we're probably going to be singing in the car. I'm going to need a bottle and some food.
Well, I'd probably pack of smokes. And
Yeah.
plus, I figured if it was relatively close, I'd ask them about this house if they knew anything.
Right, okay. It is not close.
Okay.
The closest greengrocer is almost a mile away.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Can I set up on the sidewalk on the guard's path and strike up a conversation as he walks by?
Sure, but now it's starting to get late enough that it looks a little bit odd that you're out this late at night.
Okay.
Not totally odd. Depending on how charming you are, you might be able to.
Let's do that. I'll try and talk to him and get any kind of information I can.
Okay, so you kind of pull your coat over you.
Can always pull
Okay.
that.
And,
Yeah, if I need to.
FBI, you hit me!
We got
Please
calls.
answer my question.
We got
Hit
calls
me
that someone was
again.
breaking into cars. I'm just walking the beat.
You're gonna intercept the one who's doing his rounds?
Yeah, try and
Well,
strike
he's
up a
doing that. I'm gonna
conversation.
go sneak around back.
Ooh.
All right, so you get up and you kind of slide out of the car. What you do is you walk down a bit so that when you're approaching, it looks like you're walking from a street, not getting out of a car and walking across to talk to him.
Mhm.
I assume that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, like light a cigarette and
Okay.
stand so he.
But you're not going to... Do you want to look like you're getting out of a car and then coming here to talk to him? It's like, I've been sitting over there in the car and I've decided to come talk to you. Or
Oh no! What if I get out of the car
Yeah.
and light a cigarette and lean against the car like I'm waiting for someone to come back or something?
Sure. Yeah, okay. Your car? Because your car is parked inconspicuously.
Let's just say a car.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Okay, so you head over and you lean up against the car. I'll be back to you in a second. What do you do, by the way, when you are done at the apartment?
Where was the meet location? It was like a coffee shop, and it was hours from now, right?
Yes.
It'd be quite. He doesn't leave till about 3 a.m. You said.
2 to 3.
That was the last time.
Okay.
Would there be any? God, what is it called? The newspaper dead files or like City Hall records? Would anything like that be open right now?
No. Damn, no research with no internet, right?
Well, no, there's research. It's just open on business
9
hours.
to 5, Monday
Yeah.
to Friday.
Unless you
I should have finished the
special
book.
access.
Didn't you?
I did have my large handbag.
You might have.
Did you pinch a book?
Maybe.
You have to tell me now.
Are you the type of person who would pinch a book that you like?
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
thirst for knowledge.
And she's a kleptomaniac.
Great.
Arson.
I made it look, I moved them back together.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
yeah.
even know that there was one
Yeah.
missing.
You
All
wouldn't
right,
even
okay.
know.
Yeah.
Good.
He doesn't read them anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be your explanation when I notice and lose my shit.
He's not gonna read them. As I pull out the book. Where did you get that? I'm gonna read it.
Now, is there any? This is the city I work in.
Yes.
Is there any contacts I have who might know about the Titus Club, or more specifically, how people who might work there, like kind of like working class gossip about Titus Club?
Make an education.
Ooh, yes. Better than half my education.
So, you've never heard of the Titus Club, okay? And so if people are working here, I'm going to say that, yeah, you do know a maid from some time ago who works in this area. She might know. You'll have to get a hold of her.
Regular hours.
Yeah, kind of thing.
Could I leave a message at the post office for her?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the upper class stuff, right? And that's not generally you.
Sorry, what neighborhood was the Titus Club in again? I forgot. It's not Beacon Hill.
Bunker Hill.
Bunker Hill, yeah.
Yeah, it's Beacon Street, Bunker Hill. Okay. So you head over to leave that. You are leaning up against the car. Okay. You kind of take a drag on it. Do you smoke? I guess everybody does. Oh
Who
God.
doesn't? Yes!
I was thinking of it.
Wow.
I don't actually, but I'm
That's awesome. Okay.
Alright.
You're leaning up against the car. As you kind of take a drag and it kind of glows, there's like a hitch in his step as he suddenly notices you, right? And then he sort of, he has no fear of you whatsoever. He kind of swaggers up to you.
How's it going tonight, friend? All smiles.
Friend?
Well, friendly like. How's it going this evening?
Oh, you're assuming I'm friendly like. You're definitely in the wrong place. You can go ahead and make a charm roll if you
Does
want.
he have a cigarette too? Or can
He
I
does,
offer
yeah.
one? Okay.
Hey,
Maybe he
Cigarette?
swaps it out right as
You
he's
did say
walking
they
out.
took a light.
yeah,
Yeah.
So what I'm going to say is when he sees you, he actually stops, crushes it out beneath his foot, and then he walks out to you.
Okay. Cigarette then? Offer your fresh cigarette?
A cigarette? Okay, go ahead and make your charm.
Okay.
It's not French.
59.
And what's your charm?
50.
All right. So that's a smack failure.
I
Okay.
don't smoke.
All right. He squares off in front of you.
Okay.
It's a bad neighborhood to be finding yourself late at night when you don't belong someplace. Now your suit is kind of, do you know what I mean? Like it's
nice.
Yeah,
It's nice-ish, upper end.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, so he says about it.
Punch the guard he'll never expect.
What is your brawling?
Really low. Oh no, it's basic.
Hey,
Basic.
you only need to pass it to get it.
What I got at the
You really want to
academy.
get in a fight sometimes.
Yeah.
Just do it.
For long-term development.
Don't I know it's a bad neighborhood? And
Well, yes, it's not a bad neighborhood. It's a bad place to be when you don't belong.
bad place to be. Don't I know it? And then I pull out my badge.
Okay.
Okay. And then I say, listen, we got a call from one of your neighbors that maybe there was someone looking in cars or something.
As you're looking at
Oh, that was. Oh, wait.
We have a description of the suspect.
Yeah.
It's him.
Well,
Looking
he's on my
cars.
out. If I get caught.
I'm just out here making sure that nothing's going wrong. Who knows? It could have been you. I just wanted to stop and make sure everything's okay. We're both working men. You understand.
Okay. So he sees your badge. He says, "Oh, did Falcon send you?" And you're like, "So Falken." He's actually one of the guys. He's not the department head at the bureau at your what do you call it, at your detachment, but he's up there.
So I know who that is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He kind of pauses, sees the badge. Falcon send you?
Dude, Falcon's inside. Depends. Is he inside?
Oh my god, is that a bird? Bang! 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 Bang!
I'm not from the FBI. It's just a plastic badge.
No. It was just a routine check. It's kind of an upscale neighborhood, so when things go, we don't send beat cops up here. They kind of send their the good old boys, so to speak. So no, I'm just checking things out, making sure that everything's okay. Noticed anything tonight at all?
Fast talk.
Nice.
And I'm just going to make
my-
an insight roll here.
My fast talk is so low. Oh, that's not actually that bad. 12, but my fast talk is 5. So.
5?
If you haven't noticed yet, this system is all about having bad skills in these things and
All
just
right.
making the best of it.
Okay, so he...
That was an awesome roll. I still fail.
Yeah. Good roll. Yeah. Okay. You're kind of a stand-up guy, right? So, talking your way into things or, quickly putting your words together, you find them kind of blurring together, and it sounds really convincing in your head. Like, super convincing.
Oh,
But then out loud, it doesn't sound that way.
oh Eddie.
Right? He kind of looks down at you, his brows kind of knit together into, like, one bigger one.
Universe.
Right?
You, sir, are going to be pummeled.
Yeah.
The guard.
He, despite the fact that it's raining, he pulls off his jacket, kind of hangs it to the side.
Yes.
Look, I don't want any trouble. I'm just here doing my job.
All right.
Do you wear glasses?
One moment.
No glasses.
He would be wearing them.
All right. You are.
I use this opportunity to sneak around the building and take a look.
All right. Sounds good. Go
That's
for it.
distraction.
Sneak?
Yes. Stealth. Advantage because it's so pitch black here. So roll an extra.
It doesn't matter, 12. That's way under.
Okay. Is that less than half?
Way less than half.
Okay.
Is it less than a quarter?
Less than a
It's
quarter.
less than half is a critical,
Well, not quite.
critical success.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
no,
what
so it's
happens
less
is the way it works is, say for example, I roll an insight and I roll a normal success, but then you roll a persuade and you roll a good success. You beat me because my average roll is not as good as your extreme roll, right?
I understand the
Do I get a double check?
What's that?
Do I get a double check now?
So what I'm going to do, however, is I'm going to
Use a
roll.
different skill.
It's just a joke.
All right. So you wander around back. Okay. As you do so, there is like a veranda that wraps around the back, and there's a set of double doors there. Okay. One of those doors actually lies open. What's wrong?
The last comment. It's sad that I'm rooting for the bad guys. Time to nut up, FBI guys.
Okay.
It will be funny. I have to admit, I'm kind of hoping the nebbish guy takes a pounding from the guard.
Okay. So that would be classic Call of Cthulhu. Okay. So you, as you do, there is a guard at the back as well. There's a guy. There's a porch light at the back. Okay. One of those doors is open, probably because with all the curtains closed and all the people inside, it's probably stinking hot,
Yeah.
right? However, the thing you notice is that the lights are not really bright in there right now. There seems to be some dim lighting coming from within inside of the building itself. The guard, he's standing out back underneath the porch light. His night vision is probably for crap because of the fact that the light's so close.
Yeah.
However, he does cradle a shotgun. Okay. And again,
How awake does he seem?
he seems to be relatively intent.
Okay.
Right? Like he's kind of looking around, right? You kind of see him, right? Then he takes a shotgun and he kind of strides out a little bit onto the grass, right? Kind of looks around really casually, pretty much right through you,
Yeah.
right? Then he stalks back.
Okay.
You put out your cigarette. No.
It's a coat.
I think it's more. It's inside of your mouth. Like, yeah, that open doorway seems.
It's very tempting.
It's right there.
And what's the backyard like? Is it wide open?
It is wide open. They have manicured gardens out back, right? Through this porch light, you can kind of see like this sort of this wan glow over the entire thing. And in the rain, like the rain's kind of beating down, and you kind of get this reflection off of flower beds of freshly planted flowers, etc. The backyard itself as well. There is like some walking paths out back, as well as some benches to sit at, etc. It's a wealthy man's house.
Is it like a wall of the garden?
No, the garden is not walled. This entire yard is not walled. There are bushes along the outside of it that make it,
Perimeter marking.
private, but they're not fences per se.
And I'm far enough, like it's pretty hidden, right?
Yeah, you're basically you and a bush are that guy.
That guy. Would there be like a rock around?
You can roll luck.
Sure.
Oh,
no idea how luck works. So
Right. Oh, right. Okay, so you rolled luck, I think, and I think you rolled luck because you were here, right?
yes.
Okay. For those of you who weren't here, you have to roll your luck. What that is it's 2d6, and you add 6.
I did not do that.
I
Okay.
rolled it, but
That's
it
our starting
didn't
luck?
stay on my character
Yes.
sheet. So
For what?
So add 6 to that,
13.
and multiply it by 5.
Oh, I did do that. I remember the math.
Okay. So what you do is, what was the number?
I don't remember.
Okay,
Where
so
the
it's now
numbers
it's now 14 times 5.
Oh, you're way higher than me.
So 70.
I have 70.
So circle 70 under luck. This is luck.
Okay.
Okay. What's your luck?
70.
Roll.
14.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice rolls, brother.
Okay. I want to take this and I want to throw it far away.
That cost you 56 luck, by the way. That's the difference between... I'm kidding.
I figured it could be something like that. Because I was looking at the out of luck part.
Right. So what you need to know about luck is... This is how luck works. My apologies. I forget that I'm the only one who really knows how the system works. My apologies.
Okay.
Here's how luck works. You can spend luck 1 for 1 to change a roll. Okay? So, say for example, you roll a 59 and your skill is 50. Right? You spend 9 luck, you just rolled a 50.
Nice.
Okay? However, your luck goes down by 9.
Right.
How do you gain luck back?
At the end of every session, you roll for how much luck you recover.
Oh, okay.
Nice. That's fun.
What do you roll? How do you roll for luck to recover? Like what's a
2d10.
2d10 and it's...
Okay. Yeah, so if you roll 11, you get 11 luck back.
Okay.
If you spend 30 luck, that bullet that blew a tunnel through your head didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
Okay?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's Pulp Cthulhu, by the way.
So, rock, and I want to throw it like at the farthest side of the property.
Trying to distract him?
I kind of just actually want to lure him away, just to see what his reaction is to a noise or something.
Right.
He has a shotgun. I'm not stupid.
Yeah. Do you have your pistol with you?
How common is it to carry weapons around in 1920s?
Fairly
For you?
common.
Then yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it. Throw.
91.
Is your throwing 91 or less?
No.
What is it?
40.
40. Do you want to spend 51 luck points?
Think about it.
So is that
Throwing a
you
rock
spend the
into
difference in
I
luck?
kind
What's
of.
that?
You spend the difference in luck? That's
You
Yes.
didn't botch it, right?
If I rolled a 12 then, and I needed... what was it again?
5.
Could I have spent the luck and talked
Yes.
to him? Okay.
And that's
I would
why
have spent that. For
I
sure.
know you would have.
I have
What
a
are my
question.
dices by your feet?
Yeah.
If you roll a block, can you spend
went for a little
couple
roll.
luck points to debotch
Thank
it?
you.
You can never debotch a 0-0.
Okay. But the 96 to 100.
You can turn a critical failure into just a failure. Yes.
Okay, so 0-0 is extra bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay.
It's a really good thermos.
This is kind of
Still
like
very hot.
Yeah, I'm not going
They
to spend
have
all my luck
probably-
at this.
No, I was
Not on the
kidding.
throw.
Anyhow. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to see exactly where that stone went.
I hope it goes
This
through,
is
Hits him in the head.
I hope it goes through a window.
Hits him.
Dogs! There has to be dogs.
All right. So you're like, you step forward and your foot slips on the grass. Okay.
It was wet. Huh?
And then there's a shattering of glass.
The greenhouse.
Right? And yeah, you've thrown it directly through a second floor window of the house. Okay? So the guard, and he kind of comes out. He's got the shotgun. He's not a soldier, right? He's a thug. So he's kind of got the shotgun. And, just to help his night vision, he's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So he kind of wanders around.
Do I hear the glass break?
What's your listen?
It is actually pretty good, I think.
It might actually be more important if the guard.
25?
hears the glass break.
Well, if he hears it, the guard might hear it, right?
Okay.
Did I hear a break?
Yeah. So you're standing up front. He's like, No, you really don't have to. And then it's like, you stay right here. I'm gonna beat you to within an inch of your life. I'm gonna reach into your heart. I'm gonna pull out. I'm gonna take a bite out of it.
Do I need to
So
spend...
do not move.
Okay. Oh, I'll stay right here. And as soon as he turns his back, I'm going to unbutton my jacket and just get my holster unbuckled.
Okay. Yeah. So he pulls out his .38 revolver, and he starts moving towards the back of the building, towards the building.
Do you want me to spend my luck for that?
For what?
Because I did get kind of lucky there too.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's PCs creating our own luck.
That's right. We make our. All right. So
get
these
much
two
back.
guys, they kind of wander back into the yard.
Press the
Okay.
button.
And they sort of meet right underneath the window, right? And they begin talking to one another. I'm gonna make it an extreme listening roll if you want to overhear it in the rain.
Sure.
Go for it.
Stream would be
Quarter. Third or less.
The fifth. So the small number.
No problem.
2.
Take your luck.
Awesome.
Listen.
Put a check mark there.
Nice.
You huck the rock and smash the window, and you're like,
Yeah, you
all
freeze.
senses, all senses.
It's almost like he threw the
Flashback!
window on purpose.
I remember No Man's Land.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't make a move.
Yeah, so so these two guys are like, did you hear the window? Yeah, the window's definitely broken. The fuck? The guy takes his flashlight, looks down on the ground. There's no glass down here. What do you think, a bird or something? Come on, a bird at night? What the fuck, you stupid? Well, what else do you think it is? It's like, it's probably some asshole inside. You know how they get. It's like, yeah, when they get on that shit.
Shit involved.
Right? Anyhow, so they kind of look, and so then they finally turn to each other. All right, let's check the yard. You know what Diamond will say if we don't.
I am going to slink away.
All right. Sounds like a stealth versus their spot hidden.
Sorry, did they say diamond?
94.
Oh, he trips again.
Bang, 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 bang! Okay, so that is I take it that is higher than your stealth.
Oh, yes.
Love it.
They could feel spectacular.
But it's not a 96.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
That is actually a regular fail. Okay? Well, if it's not above 95, it's a regular fail.
It could-
94 twice you've rolled now.
Those dice loaded, friend.
Wrong way.
Their spot hidden is actually what occurs is there's two of them, so normally I would take an advantage dice, right? However, it's dark, it's raining, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the advantage dice away, and I'm going to roll just the regular dice. Okay? Their spot hidden is a massive 30. Who knows? Could happen. 66? Nope. No love for them. All right. So sticking to the shadows, you slink towards the car. Now you're standing there waiting for him to come back and beat the shit out of you, right?
No.
I
I'll
thought
unbuckle.
you were a sneaky clean guy. You said you were going to stay.
He's
right.
recovered his
You did
points.
say you're going to wait.
Yeah.
I thought you were honest.
You're reneging
Truthful.
on your...
Truthful.
Not honest. I'll head back to the car to wait for.
He did
to
wait for about
a
10
minute.
seconds.
I waited. You didn't come back.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you return to the car, and you get there about the same time. You kind of get to the street, like, oh, fuck. Go. You guys drive away?
No.
Do I notice that is he sweating or anything like
I'm
that?
probably covered in mud.
Yeah. Well, first off, he's like a drowned rat, right? He's been standing out in the rain for the past,
Yeah.
So his hat is the water's burning off of his hat. These two guys are continuing to search the yard. You're not sure if they'll give up or not, right? Sooner or later, they might remember though there's a guy up front.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of impression you made, but I think we should get out of here.
I broke a window, and they have a shotgun.
There's 3 guards?
I think we should go to the coffee
Got the
shop and
shotgun
to
on
see
the
what
back,
the other guys
2 up front.
uncovered. See what Miranda and OB uncovered. The guards definitely aren't going to let
The
me
only
do
other
that tonight.
option is they haven't seen me,
Okay.
and what we do is if you'll let me tinker with your car, I can make it look like they're having car troubles, and I can be fixing it for you, and that will allow me to stick around a little bit longer.
The guards know my face now.
They know you.
They
but not
know me. We need to fix the car where we are.
No, we'll move it closer and have car troubles. I'll rig your car up. Don't worry, I won't cause any permanent damage.
Unless I find
Trust me, I'm very familiar with these types of vehicles.
Oh, yeah, right. You're the driver guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, it's worth a shot. I
Plain
mean,
car.
this has been a waste of time so far. If we, I think we should do it.
Well, we've got a little bit of information, but it'd be nice to...
Yeah. Let's do it.
I Adson on his way out.
Okay. All right.
So I'm going to take his car and rig it to break down somewhere fairly close to the front. In front. And then
Okay.
fix it.
Yeah. So what you do basically is you reach underneath the hood, and you tighten the air filter all the way down. So just the car is barely breathing. So you fire it up, right? You know it's going to run maybe 100 yards before suddenly it's going to be like, and it's going to come to a halt with kind of this loud knocking sound. That's assuming you make your mechanic repair check.
That's what you intend to do.
Were cars carbureted back then? Is that how they ran? Were they different? Something different than a carburetor?
I think they were probably carbs.
I don't know what's before carbs, if anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like they must have had something to vaporize the fuel, right?
Yeah.
My brother thinks aliens taught us how to use
That's a possibility.
internal combustion cars because he's like, no person could invent a carburetor. They're too insane. Everything has to be the perfect right diameter related to everything else.
Ready?
Do it.
53
What's your
My-
mechanical repair?
is 40, and I will spell it in 13 luck to succeed at that.
All right. Okay.
The drunken luck sailor over here.
Yeah. All right. So you spend the 13 luck. Your luck drops to 57, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You find yourself. Sure enough. Now, where's he?
Oh, I left him somewhere. Because we don't want him to be seen.
Yeah, the guards know me.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
I'm
take
just-
your
I'm just
take your raincoat and
Do you have a Broly?
Yeah, how far back were we parked from the car?
you're probably 150 feet up the street.
Yeah, I'll just like huddle
50 meters.
under a lamppost or something, smoke a cigarette. Just
Stand in the light where you're
Maybe a tree?
under a tree. Are there any big
a
trees?
tree where it's not raining.
Yeah, sure, yes. Under,
It's
under,
like,
Hey, that
man,
guy you
if only
said
there's
right-
some place where I can hide where I'm not getting wet. Wait, I'm
yeah.
an FBI agent. I'm
Yeah.
sure I could figure this out.
There's two trees and he's staying right in the middle.
Yeah. All right. So you hide by a tree. As you're leaning against the tree, you can, you kind of blend into the darkness. Yeah, the car, clutches to a stop directly in front of you, and you do your best to make it look like you're trying to keep it going, but it doesn't. Okay. You stagger to a stop.
Take your top, pull over, get out, pop the hood, and start tinkering around. I fix it. I get it so that it'll take me 2 seconds to fix if I need
The
it.
assumption is that if you broke the car, you can fix it
Yeah.
unless you've done permanent damage.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
why I passed it.
Good call.
But yeah, but I wanted to get it so that it's virtually that I virtually have to like turn a nut and be like, all right, oh hey, look, it's going, yeah.
All right. Okay.
And other than that, I'm sort of like sitting there and
Right. So you stop. By the time you've kind of moved up the street and done the tinkering and then driven the car over here, the two guards are back at the front door. Okay. And when you pull the car to a stop, it kind of loiters to a stop. You get out and head around to the front and
pop the hood. And,
okay,
yeah.
fair enough. So these are the hoods, like it's kind of long, and the hoods are on both sides, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of get underneath there and start tinkering. The guards kind of stare at you out on the street, and make an idea check about. Wow, this is two strange guys in the neighborhood on the same night, and a broken window. Man, a lot of weird shit happening tonight. Coincidence?
Yes.
I don't know.
Coincidences do happen.
100%.
I guess so. What an odd night. Okay. So they spend, so they stop and they kind of watch you, as you struggle with the car. Car failures are much more common in the 20s than they are today. Okay. Most people who were traveling any distance had some mechanical knowledge or needed to have some mechanical knowledge to make sure that when you broke down, you could at least get the car limping to the next gas station, right? So when your car rolls to a stop, they're not overly surprised. Besides, it's a new Buick, right? It's a government issue. Wait a second. No.
You should have gone with the Ford.
Yeah.
Good old Ford.
They actually... Do you actually fix the car and move on? Or how long do you want to loiter there?
What time of night was where we at here?
About 8:30. So
No, you guys have been kind of...
Oh, right.
You've been watching and
Yeah.
collecting. Yeah, it's probably around midnight by the time you guys do this.
I'm going to... I'm going to see if I can't drag this out for like an hour, and if I feel like they're starting to get a little too suspicious, then
Alright.
I might fix it, but as long as I feel like they're not encroaching too much.
All right. So the car is fixed in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you got to get underneath there, and you work diligently to look like you're fixing a car. Now you've fixed your share of cars in your life. Okay. With the 40, right? You've probably spent quite a bit of time fixing cars. By the way, if you spend luck to get a success, you do not put a check mark beside the skill. Just yeah.
Good call.
I was wondering if you did.
Well,
Okay.
makes sense.
It takes around half an hour or so, and one of them, going on his regular patrol, lights up a cigarette. He kind of saunters down to the end of the walkway. Okay. They seem to be maybe a little less crisp than they were. They've been standing outside in the rain, outside of this building for hours. As he kind of saunters down, he kind of pulls it up. He's got his fedora down. He's got his cigarette underneath it to, sort of shelter it. And he comes to the end. This is a different fellow than the one that was in the backyard, but beefy as well. And he's, "You need help there, friend? You can't keep your car here. Do you want to push it out of the way?"
I'll just say, "Oh, hey, yeah, no, just an issue with whatever."
Yeah.
And I'll be sort of like
The samoflange.
Yeah, the sound.
Damn it, I hate
flux capacitor's went on it, and I just got to get it. And I'm just gonna say, I should have it, all ready and go here in about 30, 40 minutes, and I'll be out of your way. Don't worry. I'm working here as fast. I don't want to be out in this rain any more than you do.
All right. Hey, I know some things about cars. You need help? That's one of those new Buicks, eh?
This old thing.
Make a charm roll.
3.
Fuck. Off.
So charming.
My term is 40.
Okay.
Take a
Super.
He bats his eyelashes.
Okay. Yeah, so you're just being polite, right?
Yeah.
It's like, but he offers to help, right? So you have dissuaded him from being super suspicious.
Yeah.
But now just his interest in actually seeing, the engine of the new Buick, it's like, oh, yeah.
I quickly do something underneath that's like a quick fix that no one would ever go look at.
No one would ever go.
Well,
You have 40.
yeah, I just need to distract him for 40 minutes, and then I can be like, "Oh, hey, it's probably that."
Okay.
Right? And he trusts me, and so so it's like, "Oh, I'll just pull that thing off there so it won't start," and
All right.
then we'll piddle around on the front and say, "Oh yeah, thanks, yeah, any help will do." And then I'll sort of I'll use this time to sort of ask him, "Oh yeah, what is this building? I've never seen it before." And general chit chat.
All right. So you roll a 3,
Yeah.
which is pretty decent. I'm just going to roll just a quick roll here.
Yeah, sure.
This is his mechanical repair.
Yep.
Okay.
Double zeros.
All right. Yep. That's a 0. So that's a 0-3.
Oh, shit! Here's your problem, fella.
Well, there it is right there.
Yeah.
No problem. Let me fix that for you. All right. So you're like, oh, man, Buick, what a Buick. I'm actually thinking about getting one of these. It's like, oh, hey, there's your problem right there. Yeah, this is just disconnected. Here, let me help you with that. He kind of reaches in and, his 2 meaty fists, kind of, he works at it. Here, give her a try.
I think
Yeah.
the
Obviously, I'm going to give it a try, and if it starts, I'm going to go, "Oh, thanks, friend."
Oh, no problem at all. Yeah. Guys inside, kind of, they don't like people around the house, so probably you better get out anyhow. You know, if they came out and saw you, they might be, well, you know, not as nice as me.
I'll just be like, oh, what is this place anyways then? Like, just casually, like... Not that I'm trying not to come off as nosy, but like, just like, oh, thanks for the help, that's awesome. Here, have a smoke on me. What is this place anyways then? Like, I don't know it's a secret. Well, I do, but...
Yeah. Yeah, so your charm was 3, so I'll allow you one question. He says, yeah, the place is called the Titus Club, which they called it Titty Club. I might have been interested, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Bunch of rich guys. You know, they go in there, you know, lots of pretty women, no booze, no sex. What the fuck's the point?
All right.
Anyhow.
I'll make some comments like, oh, that seems pretty fucking dumb.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Anyhow, you have a good night.
Yeah, thanks for your help, man.
Pretty dull.
You're supposed to punch him.
Well, I might have actually done pretty good in a fist fight, but...
All right. So you drive away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna...
Okay. You head to the coffee shop.
Well, I pick him up first.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, wow.
Although I do have a brand new view of cars, so...
So,
Canada, huh?
I imagine I'm highly skilled at wasting time.
Yes.
So we probably like playing like dominoes or like cards or something,
Okay.
and like steadily like smoking and drinking and chit chatting.
Okay.
I'm reading.
I'm getting the sense that you enjoy drinking, so
Okay, so you find yourselves at the coffee shop around 2 o'clock in the morning. People here are factory workers, you know, cops on the beat, all that kind of stuff. You guys arrive. All right, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a pause right there for about 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so we'll be right back, 10 minutes. And all right, so we're back. The characters have rendezvoused at Moe's Cafe, where now being 2 o'clock in the morning, you can smell the beginning of the, you know, the frying of bacon and eggs because, you know, breakfast time. You didn't really dig up too much from the apartment, and the Titus Club appeared, well, tightly knit. So you didn't get too much information from there last night either. You've now rendezvoused and deciding to do what?
I don't know about you guys, but we found out Jack Squat.
Jack and Squat.
Jack and Squat.
Too.
Well, I don't know if we sit down squat. We're
He
pretty
does
well armed.
He does have a fine liquor selection.
And apparently they're on some sort of shit in there. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Words from the guards, my friends. Word from the guards.
well, that apartment's just a crash pad. Like basically nobody lives there. It's meticulous, nothing interesting. However, I did have a look at his checkbook, and that Titus Club is well funded, if you know what I'm saying. 1,000 bones every month in dues. You multiply that by however many people you saw there, you start talking about a pretty large bankroll.
Oh yeah, we saw some dandies coming and going from there, and everyone was driving nice cars. There's some real money coming out of there.
I imagine if you're planning this as some sort of heist, you can make away with a big bag of loot at the end of it.
Just saying.
Okay, you guys share all of your information?
Yes.
All right. I'd like you at this point to make everybody make a know check. For you, it'll be an average knowledge check. For everybody else, it'll be hard.
Okay.
No, I have photographic memory. Does that play in for...
No, you don't.
I do.
You
That's... Did we not take the talents?
There are no talents. No.
No
Which
talents.
one
Okay.
is that?
Education.
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 So
Oh,
it's,
Thank you. Oh, there it is.
It's hard, which is the second one.
Yep.
Yeah, 32.
43.
24. Which is a pass.
Success.
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 Big success.
Oh wow.
Success.
All right.
Just passed.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So as you guys are rendezvousing, one thing that you need to know is you've all heard the name Diamond before. Hugh Diamond Osmer. He's actually a relatively well-known gangster in Boston. He is Irish by descent, and he is known for his thuggery.
What's his last name? Hugh Diamond.
Osmer.
Osmer.
Who was it that found the
So you're like-
diamond thing? That was
him.
you?
Yes. You heard it. You heard the guys talking.
Oh, did they mention Hugh Diamond?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's-
so-
Yeah.
I thought that was on
you
your
know
checkbook.
what Diamond will say.
Oh, right.
No,
Right,
the
right.
checkbook. There's a payment to Landry Kittredge
What was the other one?
regarding a Harper. That was
And we
there
know
was two
that
payments
now too,
to
right?
To the club.
Yeah.
the yeah.
I thought there was a third check.
That
There
was
was two
to,
payments
there's
to the club
two to the
and-
club and one to her.
Right.
But I mean, $600 is pretty sizable.
Yeah.
Landry's a her.
No.
Kittredge?
Kittredge?
Landry's a guy's name.
That's a guy's name.
Okay.
Sorry.
Him.
Yes. Okay. Got it. Yes. Gotcha.
Well, it's not that surprising that a club of this sort would have some sort of organized crime contact, if only to supply whatever the shit is.
Well, or the thugs.
Or the thugs, yeah. Were the guards particularly pleasant?
They were not.
Lovely.
Also, one of them.
Oh, the guy who helped me with the car was pretty friendly.
One of them knew my boss, which I found strange. Maybe he knows what's going on at the club. I don't know.
I'm gonna have like a big smile across my face and be like, "You are squeaky clean, aren't you?"
That would be odd, wouldn't it? Like, if it's fairly new, knowing who's whose would be like not common knowledge, right?
No.
I think there might be a stink in your office, friend.
I definitely think I should talk to him about it. I mean,
Off you go.
Can I listen when you have that conversation?
I'm innocent enough to get away with that, I think. Yeah, it was. I mean, one of them threatened to beat me up, so they're definitely not afraid of the cops.
You might want to record the conversation. Just saying.
Do any of us know the Hugh Diamond Osmer? Is it like general knowledge about who he is? Like everyone in Boston kind of knows that name.
Yeah. It would be like
Capone.
Capone. It would be like knowing Capone while you're in Chicago.
Well, I think we've got some, like at least one obvious lead. We can follow up on who this Landry Kittredge is. We may want to try and pound payment and try and see if we can swing an invite to the club in some capacity. I'm sending a message to someone I know who works in the Bunker Hill area and see if any of the neighbors know anything about the Titus Club.
We saw them flash a placard to get in, right? Some sort of...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, maybe we can acquire one from that list of registries that we took down.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
I doubt they know everyone by face who goes in there.
Nice work. Whose idea was that? I'll like
Mason
clink
never
glasses
goes in,
at you.
right? Mason never goes in, he just drops him off, right?
Correct. Yes.
Do we know if they have live entertainment in there?
You heard music, and we're like it sounded like jazz. So
I happen to know that Mason plays the trumpet. He was actually a bugler in the service, and he's started to do some jazz. He plays in clubs. I wonder if we could get him a gig.
Or even if he might know who's playing those gigs.
Oh, maybe.
Is he good enough to get in, and will his boss let him play it?
He would never admit it himself, but he's quite good.
Well, it sounds like we have a couple of leads to follow.
Now we have. One wonders if the same events happen every night at the Titus Club. We might want to take a drive by the
hey,
next night.
can I buy you all a cup of coffee?
We'll look up.
Who's asking?
That dude.
Hi there, Elias Jackson.
Hey, Elias, every time she
Okay. You guys can make knowledge checks, please.
Elias Jackson.
This is a hard knowledge check, except for you. Average for you. Because it's something established in fiction.
There's knowledge.
Nope.
Education.
Thank you.
Still barely.
Knowledge.
Only because it was hard.
22.
Yeah, ditto.
I'm like so close to 42.
Okay.
Where did you get
How
your
racist are we in this day? I gotta broach the subject.
So let's pause for a second. So Call of Cthulhu actually they actually have this great section at the beginning of the book, and it goes like this: you're living in a sexist, jingoistic period, and boy, that would suck to roleplay. So basically, in this period, all that kind of stuff is just all the numbers are just filed off. Like, we're not talking about sexual equality or racial equality or anything like that in the game. If you went to a place that was notorious for something,
right,
it might come into play, but mostly it's not. And
I mean, I have slightly more like entertainment value about like cussing out the Irish than being like, I don't know, you're a black guy, get away from my table. I don't want to drink anything you touch, right? Like I don't.
Yeah. Anyhow, so he's like, can I buy you guys a cup of coffee?
Absolutely. Where did you get your suit?
You like it?
Fabulous.
Dunbury, New York. You know this guy. Well, you've heard of him. Elias Jackson. He's actually a relatively famous author of a book called The Black Power. Sorry. Which is kind of ironic.
That's not a porn show.
Black Power.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be like, help yourself. I rarely refuse something free, friend.
He was a junior, a cub reporter for the New York Times, and he's an occult reporter. Is probably the best way to describe it.
He's an occult
reporter, correct.
Would I have heard of him with my?
So I gave it to her. I gave it easy to her because of the fact that she's in the game, expressed an interest in reading.
Okay.
Right. So, actually, what did you roll on your dice?
48, just off.
Okay.
Stayed above.
Yeah. So you would have heard of him from the occult side because, of course, you're a bit of an occult investigator.
Me too.
Okay. So he says, yeah. For anything else? Did you need some tea or something as well?
Pie.
Absolutely.
Pie?
I'm going to order some bacon and eggs. I'm trying to warm up from being out of the rain all day.
All right. He says, now, I don't want to seem too affronted, but tonight I happened to notice the two of you out front of the Titus Club. I coincidentally was in the area myself, and I was just curious what might have brought you around to that fine establishment.
Such a pretty building.
Well, how about you go first, friend? What were you doing there?
He smiles, and it's like this big, shit-eating smile. Well, I would tell you, but you probably wouldn't believe me.
I believe a lot of things, friend. Why don't you sit down for a minute? Pull up a chair.
All right.
I'll stand up and like usher him to an open seat that
Okay.
totally makes it hard for him to leave without getting through me.
All right, so he's like, yeah, okay.
So he sits in between us in the booth.
And then I'm going to take his coffee and pour some booch into it and put it back on the table.
Oh, much obliged, sir. That's the good stuff, I guess. Good stuff. Okay. Yeah, that is such a bad book name. I didn't even make that up. That's the thing that kills me. And I didn't even really think about it, too, because whatever. Anyway, so...
Is it referring to something occult rather than...
Oh, yeah.
No, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's
Not like Black Panthers.
No.
Okay.
That's
You
just
knew they
it.
were like a
So
cult.
so I think I might get rid of the black power, and I'm going to change it to the night power.
Right.
How's that work? Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
It has
because we have
fewer
a
overtones.
raising fist with black power.
Okay. Yeah. So he smiles and he says, "Well, I could tell you tales that would that would curl your toenails. But in my last book, The Night Power, I investigated.
Name drop.
And where can one buy this book?
Yeah, The Night Power, available at Barnes & Noble everywhere. I investigated a strange religious cult in the southern United States, which I can tell you as a black man was not easy. But yeah, my sources have led me north, and now I'm here in Boston, and this Titus Club, I've been hearing some strange things about it. And that worries me. I get that tickle in my nose when I'm onto a good story. You get that tickle? Like in your nose?
I can't talk about my cases, but I think I understand what you're talking about.
Anyhow, so obviously, your friends took some interest in the Titus Club, so I was just kind of curious what maybe your interest was.
I'm quite interested myself. I didn't realize you boys had been hanging out near the Titus Club.
What did you all see now? What did you all see?
Yeah.
Well, I was watching from afar, and I happened to see a Buick. Nice new car. Federal plates. Pull up. And loiter for a while, as if they were on a stakeout. And then I saw your friend here nearly get his head twisted off like a bottle cap.
Just regular government business. We had heard goings on in the area. We were just checking out and make sure nothing was.
Let the man continue. I'm really enjoying this story.
Heard from where?
Right, yeah. Just the regular offices, local offices. There were some kind of break-ins in cars or something in the area.
Oh, yeah. Maybe from Assistant Director Falcon?
No, just the local boys.
Because he happened to come by the house yesterday, I found, which I found kind of interesting. And then, of course, you just said you're from the FBI, and so you know Mr. Falcon?
Yeah, he's one of the
Elias, you're asking all the right questions. I'm going to take his coffee and top him up.
Okay.
He's one of the higher ups. I don't know what he'd be doing there. I'm no reason to believe he's into anything that's strange. The things you've heard about the place.
Oh, so you aren't here on the assistant director's?
No, just the local police asked us to check out and make sure that everything was
who
okay.
on the local police asked you to check it out, if I might ask? Unless, of course, that's confidential information, Agent.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to grab his pen for a second and be like, ongoing investigations, Elias. You know how these
you
things...
work for the FBI too?
I'm going to hold his pen a bit tighter as he tries to move on and be like, maybe we should establish some ground rules about these questions and what information we're sharing here.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like you could help us quite significantly in an investigation which, unfortunately, is quite private.
Well, that's really unfortunate because I'm a good fan of trading information for information. If you can't give any to me, maybe I'll just pay for your meal and be on my way. I've gotten quite enough here from your friend.
I think that we can trade information. However, like I said, ground rules. This is a private investigation. We don't want certain names, certain people to come up, so we're just going to keep those things to ourselves. And so certain anonymous answers such as local authorities will have to pass muster for you.
As long as we're good with me giving the same kind of anonymous sources.
Yeah, well, when the specifics come up, we'll be trading specifics here.
I make a full of shit check.
All right. So it sounds like you're haggling with him. Sounds like a persuade check.
Oh, terrible at persuade.
He's not.
This is the full of shit check.
Okay.
Except this time.
Well, I actually do want to swap information with him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's persuade to negotiate to the terms.
Well, that's not very good at all.
Use your luck.
I don't think I have that much luck.
Okay. He says, all right, tell you what. How about I answer the question and then you ask the question?
As long as it doesn't undermine the confidentiality of our investigations, I think we can do that.
Absolutely. Just this, in fairness, it's just me and the 50,000 readers. Apart from that, no one else. So,
Well, that seems fair.
absolutely it does to you. And you're going to be famous. You're going to be in a book.
You're sure you'll be writing about my good side?
I'm going to just...
You have a bad side? Come on now.
They've been chatting. I'm just going to pipe up sort of and be like, so, to me, it seems like we've given you a lot of information, and I sort of nod at our little buddy, and I think it's about time you maybe trade question for question.
Are you trying to intimidate him?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, go for it. Intimidate.
26. I'll use luck. Oh, yeah. I'll use 11 luck
Wow.
to succeed.
You do,
Okay.
you do occasionally make luck checks, right?
Oh yeah,
Just-
absolutely.
okay. Yeah.
So I just want to confirm as well. When there's a party luck check, you roll the worst luck in the party.
Dax is bouncing.
Bye, Daxis.
11, 46.
So he's pulling us down here. So
You know me. I like to spend.
we'll send you out as a scout.
All right. So would you roll intimidate?
50.
He says, "Ho now, man. No need for those kind of words. We're all friends here, right?
Oh, we are.
Trying to get to the bottom of the things which are untoward in the world." Tell you what, I'll let you start first.
Question?
Yeah.
So I didn't succeed with him.
What's that?
I didn't succeed in intimidating him.
You did. He was going to ask his question first.
I was trying to say that we've already given him a lot. He should give some back.
He's also giving you some information, right?
I just don't think it's fair.
So
How do we swing a club invite to get in? I realize be a tall order for you, Elias, for reasons that we don't need to go into. But for one of us,
I know being a famous writer makes it really difficult to get into places. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah.
He says, well, okay, this is what I know. So I've been researching this for the last couple of weeks, and everybody goes to the party. They're all the movers and shakers. Not the upper crust, but the crust right below it. Like the up-and-comers, the people who will be moving and shaking like 10 years from now. I'm thinking whoever's running this place, they're laying some roots in the city, which is really interesting. What I know is you and me, we ain't getting an invitation.
Oh, absolutely, we're not. But is there not any hangers-on who end up getting in there?
Yeah, if you get somebody who has an invitation, they apparently can take guests. That's all I know. And it's only from what I've watched, right?
I'm sure you have an extensive list of people who get in.
Well, okay.
And perhaps you know someone who might be a weak touch to invite some friends along with a certain sort of leverage.
Perhaps an escort.
So now my question. So, do you know somebody who's part of the club?
Addison.
Yeah, we even don't know them. I'm gonna, without any sort of hesitation, I'd be like, I know of someone in the club, but I don't know him personally.
Do you have some names?
Falcon.
Ongoing investigations, friend. I truly wish I could give you a name.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I would happily get into that club and reveal to you what we find in that club. I think
Well,
we're both
how do you
moving
plan
in
on
that
doing
direction. Well, that's what my question is all about. We need to find a weak link through their security.
I absolutely know some people who could get you into that club.
Hot damn,
I
brother.
know.
What's it going to take to make that happen?
No, good writer reporter doesn't reveal his sources. Confidential investigations, though.
It's not source, is it?
He's fishing for a name.
Elias, you got a card?
Of course. Flip!
Yeah, I'm going to take his card from him.
Okay.
I'll be like, when we're in a position to give
Hold
you...
on for a second. I'm staying at the Royal. It's a fairly decent hotel downtown.
Yeah, I'll be like, when we're in a position to give you a name of someone who goes to the club, I'll give it to you. I'm sure you have those names already. Anything we tell you is not going to be a revelation. So I don't know why you're standing on principle on this.
Because all the names I've been tracking down, they're all kind of dead ends. I'm looking for some understanding of exactly what's going on here. Something weird. You know, the people, when they leave that club, they're not right. Something's broken.
Yeah, well, that's what our reports say as well.
Yeah, and I just got that tickle, you know, that tickle that tells me something strange is happening.
Well, Elias, if, you cut the deal that you want to cut. Like, you get us in there, we'll tell you what we find in there. We're not asking you to reveal any sources. We're looking for the same thing. If you manage to get us a lead to get us in there, we're more than happy to tell you info about what we found. And similarly, if we find information on what you're looking about that we can give up to you, the basis of ongoing investigations, we'll be happy to share that with you.
All right, well,
So
I don't know that I hope to see you anytime soon, but maybe you'll change your mind.
So he's basically looking for names of people who go to the club.
Yeah, you would guess that he's probably come to dead ends similar to the one you're at, right? He's probably looking for somebody to get him into the club to understand what's happening in there, and maybe your link will get him there.
Could he be a guest to the club?
Maybe. He's relatively famous, right? But he's also famous for being,
Not the type of
a
person
weirdness
you want,
hunter.
Yeah.
So, like his book, The Night Power, it revealed, these strange cultists down in Savannah who were, sacrificing firstborns. It's a gripping read.
So if I murder this guy and put him in a pentagram, like they'll just be like, "Yeah, this is coming."
Yeah.
Okay.
Except you would not know about the pentagram because you have no occult.
God, right.
I think it's supposed to be like, Star of David or something?
Yeah, I don't know. In a
Triangle?
I'll put him in a circle, right?
Yeah.
So he beat the table then?
Yeah, so it's like, do you mind if I...
Did you guys want to ask him anything before I...
No.
Well beyond
Utterly
this is
brush
not
him
my
off?
pay grade.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, so he gives you the name of the tailor. Here in Boston. Okay.
Okay, as soon as he leaves the table, I talk to my friends. Okay, I feel like a little bit too much slip. But what about those? What about those
think?
license plates? What about those license plates?
Eddie!
By the way, he gives $10 to the cashier to more than pay for your breakfast.
What about those license plates we gathered? That's not giving too much away, is it? That might be useful to him. Do you think that would get us some more information?
You know what? That guy's got to come to us with more, something more useful than what he's come to us with. You're right. You gave away some information. You've paid him already.
Okay.
He can come to us.
He bought you breakfast. Come on now.
Fuck him.
He's
I'm gonna
fishing as hard as
tuck it into
us.
my pie.
I think we should see what are on those names and those plates for ourselves, and then if there's some weak links, we could toss them as fodder.
Elias is.
But we don't want him crossing paths too much with us. He's already seen a little bit.
Elias has obviously already done this, but we
Yeah.
can run down any sort of newspaper clippings, any sort of permitting that needed to happen, who used to own the house, who's bought the house, stuff like that. Basic information on this, right? You shouldn't take it. It'll take us a day or two, right? I think like basic due diligence, because we don't want this Elias guy handing us up something that like any monkey fool could find.
Hate those monkey fools.
Monkey fools.
I have some library skills. I could do some research.
Okay. So the city clerk's office will hold all the information about past possession of the house.
Yeah.
Right. So for some of you, you have work today.
I'm off. I'm going to the library.
I was going to ask, when's my next slate lesson?
Friday.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, I'll go into work and do my normal thing, but kind of like in the background, be looking up the plates as well.
Right.
Like there probably would be records by.
Yeah. So
25.
first off, FBI, there's no databases.
Yeah,
right?
there's no database.
So what's going to happen is you're going to have to go down to the police station to actually look up the vehicle registries.
Okay.
Right. So the police and the FBI, by the way,
They don't get along
Not yet.
super well. Not
right?
yet. Yeah.
Like the jurisdiction thing is still kind of sticky.
Yeah.
You're going to keep your eye on Falcon.
Yeah, I don't know if I should talk to him or not. If he's going in and out of there.
He's a sketchy one.
Who directly orders you to stay clear.
Yeah.
Your little job, right?
Okay. What do? Do you head to office?
Yeah, let's go down. I'll go down to the police office, and I guess I just have to ask like a regular person, wouldn't I, for records and things like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go to the local police station then and ask the clerk for some records.
All right,
You said we
sounds-
had 20 plates, right?
Yep. Sounds good. So you collected mostly rich-looking cars, etc.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So fair enough. That's what you do. What are you doing today?
For the morning, I'm sleeping.
Okay. Good call.
Seems kind of fitting to me.
Yep.
Sort of-
Cold, wet night.
Yeah.
It's really...
yeah.
Okay. So fair enough. So we'll do the morning. What do you do in the morning? Head back to your office apartment and catch a few Zeds, and then what?
I'm gonna follow up on this Landry Kittredge. Try and figure out who they are.
Okay. Fair enough. How do you do that?
Well, it says something about a ring, so my first assumption is it might be like a jeweler or something like that. So I'll
Okay.
take a look through whatever the yellow pages are or
Kittredge
something, right? And
fine
like,
jewelry.
like take a look through there.
Sounds good.
Or like even basic records, like they have people's names and addresses.
You got
and
it.
stuff.
Okay. How about yourself?
I'm going to the library. I'll do some research on the house.
City clerks.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Your day passes like this. Okay,
fitting
let's
for
do
my
your
character.
library use first. You head down to the city clerks. You're looking to see if you can find some information on
Titus house.
yes on
History.
17114 Forest Street.
4th Street.
Okay,
Titus house.
roll library use.
58. Oh dear.
58.
Yeah.
What's your library use?
30.
All right. Well,
We're near the end. We need. I could use some luck. That's a lot of luck.
yeah, you don't gain it back. Right? Until the end of the adventure. So. What I'm going to say is the information is there. It just takes you a long time to find it. The whole of the city clerk's office is a complete
So
mess.
disorganized.
Yourself, you are. What were you doing again?
Kitty Landry. The Landry Kittredge.
Landry
Kid
Kitchen.
Landridge.
Okay, so
Kitty, that's probably why I was thinking it's a girl.
Oh,
so you can go to city clerk's office to look up businesses.
Sure.
You can also go to the newspapers because browsing through the newspaper archives is also a way to like if they're known in society at all. Yes.
the society pages.
No, not just the society pages. Ads, business, like news stores opening. All of that's inside of the newspaper archives.
Sure, I'll hit the newspaper archives.
Okay. Fair enough. Go ahead and make
Library
your
use.
library use.
Ooh, that's great. Actually, that's fifth, whatever the
Okay.
Yeah.
So special success.
special success.
All right. Okay.
Excellent success.
Excellent. Okay, so this is what you guys find out, and I'll come to you in a moment because your day is going to be a little more exciting.
Excellent. Lucky you.
Okay. So first off, the Titus Club is this place used to belong to the. Stromberg's.
I wasn't researching Taste Club.
I am.
Am I still? Oh, you're telling her. Sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. I thought you were
Yeah.
talking to him.
I got distracted by
I was
that.
looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the Titus Club.
Yep.
The former owner was a fellow by the name of Vincent Stromberg. He went mad in 1919 and is currently in the asylum, in Venner Asylum, which is just outside of Boston. Okay, his wife committed suicide when their child died in 1914.
Oh, tragic.
The house remained uninhabited or basically unlived in until 1921 when it was purchased by a fellow by the name of Andrew Kittredge.
Ah!
It is, when it was registered on a title, it was registered as a social club rather than a residence. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. And in the city clerk, you also find numerous permits for the renovation of the house. Okay.
Does that give like hints as to what the renos are?
No, not really.
Okay.
What was the name of the person that bought it?
Landry
Kittredge.
Kittredge. The one that was on the shelf.
Kittredge.
Okay. You were searching for Landry Kittredge. Okay.
In the newspaper.
Yes. So Landry Kittredge is actually from Baltimore. He comes from Old Money. He is a quote-unquote world traveler, according to the newspapers. He landed here in 1921, and he was known for buying the old Stromberg place, which he renovated, and it met all the social papers. There was quite a bit of rumor mongering in the gossip columns about, you know, a new dance club or something along that line. He essentially is a playboy. Okay. Recent news in the newspapers. You actually find unpublished articles in. So here's the interesting thing: all articles are archived, okay, but not all articles are published, right? So all the articles that are filed, they're still all filed in the newspaper archives, even if they were.
So the reporter would submit it, and the editor would be like, "Nope,"
No.
and it would still.
But
Correct.
they keep it.
But they keep it, right?
Interesting.
And you can look those up in the newspaper archive. And there's two articles that you find. One's dated the last November. And what it was a cub reporter had, basically elicited some fairly loose rumor stories that there was drug and alcohol use happening at the Titus Club. Right, including the solicitation of young girls, etc. Okay, the article, you can see why the article was never published because there's no sources quoted.
Right.
The information is pretty vague. So it's essentially slander. The second one, however, is an actual article review or an interview with a fellow with Landry Kittredge itself, and it's actually about other investments that he has in the city, in particular some buildings that he's invested in. However, they did question him about the Titus Club, and the reporter uses sort of a strange phraseology, and that is, there's been some rumors going around, or some unsubstantiated rumors that that the Titus Club is a quote unquote hedonist society. Do you have any comment on that? Right? And so the article submitted says that the interview had ended at that point, and that Kittredge had, asked him to leave.
I think you should leave now.
So that is what you've discovered about Landry Kittredge. No reference to any type of jewelry store or jewelry business or anything along that line.
Interesting.
Library use. Library use.
Library use?
Yes.
Okay. 78.
78. And
Which
your
is-
library use is?
25.
All right.
Nothing here.
All right. So you go into the recordings, like the city clerk's office, it's not the information's hidden or unavailable. It's just, it takes you a while to get through the organization, right? You haven't failed. What you failed to do it is in a timely fashion. Okay? I'm going to ask you to make a quick spot hidden roll.
Okay.
What were you searching?
The license plates.
Oh.
Trying to get names. Or at least, yeah.
Ooh, 5.
Nice.
And my skill is high, 55.
Okay. Device skills. High.
Very high.
All right. These tags all, they're registered. All of the license tags are registered. As you're kind of going through them, you're kind of noting them down. And you're on the third one, and you're kind of like, so you file back and you go back to the first one, which takes a little while to find because you failed your library use, right? And sure enough, as you actually look at it, it's like Pennington, and there's a star, like a little asterisk beside it, right? And so then you kind of look at the next one, and it's like, and so then you grab one sort of at random, and it's just the name. There's no markings or anything else, right? Of the ones that you look up, 18 of them have this little mark beside them.
So like a 30.
What? 18 of the 20.
18 of the 20. The other two do not. You fill up your book with the names and locations of all of these people. Now, that said, you then you are sort of got all these cards open, right? You're writing in your notepad, and you hear the door open, and he's right in here, and you turn to see Fleary, who is one of the other local FBI guys. He says, "Hey, Falcon's looking for you. He's been waiting for you to come in all day." You should get your ass back to the office right now.
Sounded serious?
Sounded pissed. That sounds serious to me.
Damn.
Anyhow, message delivered.
Wash my hands.
All right, and with that, he's like, kind of taps on the door and disappears.
Okay.
The door and the glass kind of rattles behind him as he leaves.
Okay, I will. I'll gather my things and go see my boss then.
Okay, not technically your boss, a senior agent.
Okay, senior agent. He's just a senior. He's not like.
He's not the director.
Assistant
No.
director.
He's not a head of an
Assistant
department or
director.
anything.
Well, he's not a director. He's what do they call them? The field aide, like the office head, like
Administrator.
No,
Supervisor.
it's like the lead
Handler.
lead agent,
Lead handler, something
lead
like that,
agent,
yeah.
whatever. Anyhow, I'll find that out by the
So
next
does
time.
he have like a direct reporting to this guy?
I think it's like
Or
department head. Like they.
Yeah. So he is like the second in command for the office.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I report to him. He reports to the boss.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go. I'll finish up what I'm doing. Go back there.
All right. Okay.
Oh,
so
what time of day is it by the time I'm actually done?
Like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go see my boss.
All right.
This guy.
All right. So you arrive at his.
I'll stow all the information in the car. I'm not going to bring it with me or anything like that. I'll leave it all in the car.
All right. You Falcon he's always worked for the government, right? The FBI is new, and so they brought him in from other sources to do this work. He is dogged, okay? And he's racist. And there's a lot of things that you don't like about him. But the one thing you know is that he's amazing at solving crimes, okay? He weighs probably about 220 or so, stands about 5'6", and when you arrive at his office, he's got his shirt, he's got his tie loosened, suspended, he's got massive sweat stains underneath it, and his bald head is slick with sweat, despite the fact that there's a fan going in this office and it's a cool April morning, okay? Or cool April afternoon by now, I guess. And so he's writing, sees you come in, close the door.
Okay, close the door.
Okay. He basically, he.
May I have a seat?
Nice.
Did I say have a seat?
No, I was just, trying to be polite.
Would you address this guy as sir?
Where were you last night? Fine. I know where you were last night. Why were you there? Do you have a case out there? What case are you working on right now? It takes you up to Bunker Hill.
Whoa. I said something is wrong here. Look, I was looking into some records of the local PD. They asked for a favor. They don't like beat cops in that neighborhood. I thought I'd do them a favor and just check it out. They said there was people break-ins in cars. So I just went down to check it out.
Fast talk.
Yeah, let's do a really low roll and then use luck. 48.
It's not terrible.
When you got none.
I definitely have. So, okay.
Do you want to use 43 luck?
I too have no fast talk.
Especially when you don't get a check mark for it.
It might be worth it to use 42.
That's a lot of luck.
Let it ride, man.
Well,
luck is a crutch.
my character's on the outs with with the inner dealings of the FBI. Anyways, It makes sense to just let it go. Anyways, I'll just take the ear reading.
Do you? So hold on for a second. He grabs the file. You see in the front. What's your name again?
Edward.
Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah. Edward, what's your last name?
Foster.
Yeah, so Foster, comma, Edward.
Yeah. I sigh.
So misreporting to a senior agent, that's 5 days suspension. Sure you don't want to revise your statement?
No, I mean, I'm telling the truth. I don't know what you're talking about.
Got the name of the officer who sent you down there?
I don't, actually. It was on the way out the door.
Seamus.
Yes! Oh my god, just a totally common Irish name.
Okay.
Flirty.
He,
Fitting in.
So... Do you like working for the FBI, Foster?
I do, and I think I'm good at my job.
Do you know what makes the FBI so good at what we do? Do you know what's going to really pull this department or this bureau together?
What's that?
Teamwork. Everybody being on the same page.
All right.
What page are you on, Foster?
3?
New hairstyle.
Okay, so his face turns like beet red. Are you fucking with me, boy?
Look, just calm down. I'm just trying to have
Calm
fun.
down!
You never tell someone who's pissed off.
Get out of my office! 5 days!
That could have gone.
And if I find out if I can get proof that you were lying to me, I'll have your badge.
Okay, and I'll just turn around and walk out confidently.
Yeah. There's outside.
Like this has happened 1,000 times.
Yeah, like the agents are all like,
Yeah.
It's just Eddie again.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh.
yeah. So it's like,
See you guys in 5 days.
yeah.
Paid vacation.
So Larkin opens the door for you. Yeah, see you, Foster.
I'm thinking to myself, more time to work this case.
Sweet.
All right, so you get thrown out of the FBI's office.
You're no longer on official duty. No problem to snoop around.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is if you're suspended to use your badge, you're going to jail.
I'm going to use the badge now.
All right.
You're just going to have to take your beats next time.
All right. So you've been thrown out of the FBI office. Wow, that took like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Almost a full game.
He walks of his own accord.
That's right. All right.
Very Mulder-esque.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That leaves actually you have an afternoon and you kind of wake up around noon.
Ish.
Do you have anything you need to do today?
You know what? I was kind of thinking, on just a point of curiosity, of acquiring a vehicle and driving by during the daylight to see if there's guards out front.
Oh.
What?
Acquiring a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Are you talking about stealing?
I don't know how much access I have to a vehicle.
Oh, right. You don't have a car.
I don't have a car.
You have a friend with a car.
Yeah, but I don't know where they are.
Oh.
Right. So the assumption here is that you guys...
Actually, I just need some way to get over there. Is there fairly easy transit into that area?
Yeah.
With the thought in my head that I might have more time to investigate things, can I go shopping for a tux at this time in the afternoon? Just to have in the car, just in case I need one?
Yes, but I'm going to force you to pay for that.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
$9.50. You know what? I'm happy just find transit into the area somehow.
Okay.
And I'm just going to do a walkway.
Sounds good.
And I'm going to try to see if they've already got the window fixed or if someone's fixing it. And we'll play it from there.
Because we saw people coming, so like tux, scarf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're dressed to the nines, right?
Call me, I'll totally I know some places.
I'm also
I'll
not
totally
going to wear
set
my leather flying coat. I'm going to wear my canvas trench coat instead.
All right.
Disguise.
You're going to hide your
can hide more
disgusting
stuff in there.
ponytail and a hat.
Oh, it's isn't it here?
Nice. Clever.
Okay.
I don't want to see
Parachutes, guns.
You're like the 1920s version of a hippie.
He would really stand out. Like the long hair especially. I actually wondered if you were part like Métis or something with your long hair.
No, blonde.
So no.
Is it like the original mullet?
We saw a perfect mullet the other day, me and Karen. Like, it actually looked good on the guy. We're like, wow, he actually is rocking it pretty good.
It's coming back in the style. I've seen it all over the place.
Yeah. No, he looked pretty beat up and rough, but
Okay.
it was pretty funny.
The hair was good, though.
Yeah, the hair was good. Like,
He
for a mullet, like you
never
said,
changed
that was
his
pretty
mullet.
good.
Okay, a cashmere tuxedo is $38.
Cashmere.
Oh, can I take it out of my savings?
You have cash, right?
Right. What do they have? How much do you say it was? 37.
$38.
Double your
And I had $80.
credit.
What's that?
Times 2 your credit. Is
Yeah,
like your
times 2 your
cash.
credit.
Yeah, so
value
I
for
had
the
I had
adventure.
$80. I'll buy the tux.
Okay. Write it down on your list.
Cashmere tux.
Cashmere tux. It'll take a day to get it fitted.
Yep.
You want shoes with that?
Credit rating's actually a pretty amazing skill.
What's that?
Yours is high. No, that's your charm.
It's average.
Okay.
I train people who like a flight instructor. I make decent. Not rich, but not
All right.
hard.
So you find yourselves. So you go out to buy a tux. It's like, get out of my office! I should buy a tux.
Yeah.
Slam.
That casual. I'm just used to being
Consumer therapy. I'm really not worried about losing my job. Here's $40.
You would make this
Can I
suspension
charge
go
us
down.
back to the FBI?
A tux.
I deserve a treat.
Are you gonna come next week wearing a tux? Because that would be super awesome.
Oh,
I wish
I might actually give you advantage on all of your rolls.
I wish I had a tux.
Okay.
Need the jacket.
All right. So yeah, I'll
You
see
can
if
wear
we-
your PJ
you
pants.
wear shorts and a tuxedo jacket. All right. So you go out shopping. You meet up with Miranda to do that.
Totally.
I'll
I
send you-
know a place. I'll
Sorry,
take
so
you to
you are
see.
headed up there for during the day.
During the day, just going to do a
Okay.
walk by. Even on the other side of the street. I just want to see if there's 2 guards out front all the time.
Right, gotcha. So as you're headed up there, everybody on the bus looks to be workers, not business workers, but maids, gardeners, all of that kind of good stuff. So you get off the bus and you hike up the street. As you hike up the street, the building looks quiet. Okay, there are no guards out front. There is a board on the window that you broke.
Okay.
Congrats.
Okay.
Okay.
They fixed that quick.
But there is no, there's nothing else. Like the house, for all, it looks empty.
Yeah. Okay. It's broad daylight.
Yes, you're Garrett.
No, I'm Renee.
Oh, true. Okay. So you sit
I didn't
down-
survive a war by
Yeah. Do you sit down and watch for a while?
discreetly, yeah.
Yeah.
Off to the side.
Right on. Streets aren't busy, so it's not hard to linger for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do so, and as you do so, no one comes or goes.
Okay.
Right? You don't see any movement outside or anything like that.
Okay. I'll take note. I assume we have a rendezvous place at some point. Or no.
Diner.
Diner. Sometime.
Yeah. Dinner. Okay. So you still have an afternoon as well. Any more information you're looking to find out?
Wouldn't mind making contact with the maid I know who works in Bunker Hill.
Okay. So you left a message for her this morning, right? When the road opened. All right. Let's have a
Pick
look
her
here.
up from work and buy her a meal.
Okay. Let's see if she checked her mail and got your message. What's good for you?
Hearts. She likes me.
Okay. Do you have a card in hearts?
Oh.
If you guess it exactly, boy, you're so lucky.
I'm a clever sort. It's gonna be a face card. Might as well be a jack, because I'm a dastardly. Damn it!
Faces are good.
Nothing.
So yeah, so you checked the message. It's still waiting.
Okay. In that case, I am interested in checking. Be really good to find out who's working on that house. Pursue the Osmer angle. Why don't we find out more information about... Do we care about Pratchett? We kind of do, because she probably introduced him to this place. Yeah, let's find out about Harper Pratchett. I'm going to do a little bit of checking on her.
Library use.
Yeah.
The library use is going to get a good workout.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. I failed by 5.
All right. So you managed to find some article rags.
Yeah.
Okay. Harper Pratchett is not a well-known Boston socialite, but she's known. The Pratchett family is rural, is probably the best way to describe it. And their mines have only just recently, since the war, actually started turning a fairly significant profit, thus propelling her into the limelight. Well, by the way, there is a couple things that I forgot. First off, your research of Landry would have produced a picture for the paper. So, this is Mr. Landry.
The Playboy.
And this is Miss Pratchett.
You need to move him up.
Yeah, I will. And this is...
Oh, she's totally what I envisioned.
What's that?
No, trollop. She's totally what I envisioned.
So this is Addison. Right?
Yeah.
This is the lovely Miss Pratchett. And this is Kittredge.
It's Lucky Luciano.
What?
I think he played Lucky Luciano in Boardwalk Empire.
He looks schmarmy.
You run it through a filter?
No, those pictures just came that way. Of course I ran it through a filter. Come on! Meanwhile, Garrett's like, oh, dude.
The bad skin filter. Erupting in pimples. Alright. So, socialite, rural family, mines finally turned to profit. Recent upcoming socialite. Okay.
Yes.
That's about all we got. Address?
The Kittredge maintains a family house outside the city.
Pratchett.
And now we know where that is.
Pratchett. Yes.
Alright. That's fair for a failed roll.
Okay, you guys meet at the diner after you sort of stake out and get fired, thrown out of the office.
I got yelled at again.
And you're like, Again? We just met you.
Care to elaborate on that story?
All right, so we have about another few minutes here. So let's decide what you guys want to do for the next session, so that I can be ready. What is your plan now? As you kind of meet, you've kind of gathered some information. What do you think your next step is?
Window's not fixed. We could pose as a repair crew.
Oh.
I have a related idea. I think if we find out who, like, the groundskeepers are, or, like, whoever maintains the house, we might be able to infiltrate, like, their crew. Or, alternatively, like, sabotage their truck and, like,
Show up.
And misrepresent ourselves as them. Which is why I wanted to talk to the maid. I was hoping she could, like, maybe be like, oh yeah, I've seen the truck from XYZ crew who, like, reliably shows up there to cut the grass, right? You know,
I don't know, sabotaging trucks hasn't gone well for us in the past.
fun.
Well, it went well. Just the other guy knew how to fix the sabotage truck.
Oh, I'm talking Mike and the electrocution.
Oh, yeah.
Mike and Son or whatever.
Oh, Mike and Jack.
Mike and Jack.
So, okay. So that's the deal. You guys are going to try to find a way to...
We're brainstorming here. Edward?
I think I should lay low for a little while and continue to
We're
use
shopping.
my FBI connections in the future
Okay.
at some point. I mean, getting in the good books if someone we know is in the house too is probably a good idea.
I mean, we could try and pursue the Osmer angle and try and contact the underworld and find out, like, you know, who are these guards? How does one get involved doing there? Like, could we show up delivering booze or something? Like, you know, the underworld seems slightly dicey. Just gonna throw that out there. We could try and find more out about the Pratchett family, because presumably Harper introduced Addison to this club, but it might be a dry hole, right? Like, presumably anybody who's anybody right now is going to this club. We could try and find out where if Landry has, like, another apartment, and we could just try and break into the apartment while Landry is presumably at the Titus Club. We want to keep an eye on the club and see if these events happen every night or just the 2 nights a week that Addison goes, right? Because that'll definitely give us, like, a timing thing for when we can, like, roll over on other places that these people might be from. You have a list of registry tags. We might want to do some research on those names to see if there's anyone interesting that we can follow up on.
Falcon went the night before the Tuesday.
What's that?
Falcon went the night before. Was at the club the night before.
Yeah,
I can-
Falcon doing some investigation.
Was mentioned. It was dropped as he was here yesterday.
I can stay out of trouble by doing that. Seeing if there's any connection
Oh,
between the
She's
people
like the thug.
that have the
I
stars.
thought he
in their
said,
names.
did Falcon send you?
I know, but he did say something else.
Someone
about he
said,
was
yeah,
here
that Falcon
yesterday,
was here the other day.
like yesterday type of thing.
Yeah, he was there. He saw
So
me
that's
there.
that might be a timing thing. That's all I'm.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I could stay out of trouble by looking up, trying to find a connection between the names that have the special stars or marks on the registrations. It might take a while to do, anyways.
I want to contact Vivian. Vivian is my friend, my childhood friend, who's here. That why I'm here, because she's getting married, and see if she knows anything about this chick.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go see Vivian.
There's also the jazz player angle, right? We could try
Yes.
and figure out who the band is and, like, how
I
you
get
can
Mason in.
get in via the band.
Well,
Or
the
even...
trumpet player's sick. Mason's
Okay.
gonna fill in.
But
right?
here's the challenge, though. Mason has a job.
Yeah.
He can't appear as a jazz player at the club that his employer's working at, that his employer's
How about
attending.
Elias?
Elias?
Elias, does he play? We don't know if he
The
plays.
investigator? Or the reporter?
The reporter.
Because he's black, he plays trumpet.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I was kinda wondering where
honestly,
you're going with that.
I'm like,
I'm not saying
That's a
I'm not
big
saying
generalization.
trumpet. I'm suggesting that probably a lot of the jazz players are black,
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
Because, like,
yeah.
Yes.
and if Whitey McMight is making that assumption, I bet you a lot of racist socialites in Boston in the 1920s.
Well,
It's
actually,
that was just the way it was.
it was. And actually, a lot of the jazz came out of Harlem.
All the white guys were playing big band music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I want to see what Vivian knows about the socialite people. Like, I might be able to get some names from her too. Maybe she knows something about this club,
Yeah.
or her fiance does.
Okay. And so, yeah, sounds like you got lots of ideas. Let me jot down what you're doing next time.
Uh-huh.
So I want to pursue the maid angle and see if I can figure out who the, generic workers are for this mansion as like
staff.
Yeah,
right?
A point of entry.
Household staff.
Okay.
People that are easily bribed.
Okay, that's it. That's the entire plan. Maid angle.
Well, or just general like
You
other
want
inquiries to
Vivian.
figure out who the staff are.
Vivian Ree's socialite names, possibly, once she knows about this place.
Okay.
I mean, it could be a stakeout to watch which trucks show up too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I like that idea. Stake out to see who actually comes and repairs the window. We can always break another window.
Yep.
They're like,
All I have to do is trip while you're throwing.
Hero. Or even deliveries, right? Like, if we see who does deliveries,
Yeah.
like...
Supply runs, right?
well, yeah. So there's going to be a household staff, and all of the stuff that needs to come here has to come somehow,
Yep.
right? So
Is there a scheduled delivery date or whatever, right? Like
And also, like, if we can try and, like, so it would be worthwhile figuring out, is there a place nearby that we can establish a stakeout location on? Because if it's, like, all the partygoers dodge out at, like, 3 or 4 in the morning, guards roll out at, like, 5, and house staff show up at 7, it's like, well, there's an obvious window, right? Like, it would be worthwhile to figuring out, like, what's the timing of the household, and is there a place we can be to try and establish that.
cool. All right. So sounds like more information gathering. Okay.
We could start killing the guards to try and convey this information. You shouldn't work for the Titus Club. How do you feel about that, Edward?
I was actually literally just thinking, I was like, how bad of an idea would it be to pretend to be someone's driver? They're obviously coming out of the club all messed up. You can just be like, hey, I'm your driver, Ted, and then take them somewhere and interrogate them.
Is this involve,
Oh, hey, Ted.
would this involve pistol whipping?
Okay, let's get you in the car. Yeah, come on now.
I'm just saying, some organizations do these things.
I think we'd want to do a targeted abduction.
That's
so
fun.
we
I like
would
that
need
idea.
like the person we're gonna grab, right?
Because you're far enough away from the house that these people will be coming up by themselves. If they're incoherent, you can just be like,
Well, and it sounds like a lot of them leave at the same time.
I'm the backup driver. Hop in.
He just sabotages the other driver's car, so he's like, whoa, and then
Jerry
drive
wasn't feeling well. I'm here instead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you track down who they are and where they live and follow their chauffeur.
You can find out their chauffeur.
And we could just like go in, tie up their chauffeur, show up,
Pick them up and then be like,
take them
name.
and interrogate them about what happens, and then they're already drunk and high probably, and
Or
we'll
even
just like
have them
administer a
medically
Mickey
examined.
Finn and put them to bed, and it's like, oh, you had a bad dream,
yeah.
you're right, like,
It's not a terrible idea.
or
I
have
could
the
medically
nurse
examine them.
administer some opium, right?
You're
I might have a little something in my bag.
I
How
rolled double
expensive is your
zero.
medical
What does that
knowledge?
I'm a
mean?
nurse. I was a nurse before, so.
I
But I
rolled
do have
double
a high
zero. What does that
medical.
mean?
That's a good idea. We could have her check them over first to
If
see
we could get
she
someone,
can
I would like to
figure
do a medical exam. If we could get somebody, I could.
Okay,
I could-
so longer term plan, possibly not next session, is
Mhm.
we're gonna find a target and we're probably gonna abduct them.
Totally, while they're
Yeah.
high.
While they're high, yeah.
Yeah, Teddy's sick tonight. I'm Ralph. I'm taking over the
It's not a
driving.
terrible idea.
I like it. Can't possibly go wrong. Yes.
What was your descriptor? You're like, I'm not honest.
I'm truthful.
Truthful,
I'm
not
truthful.
honest.
At first I said honest, but I'm like,
We actually looked up what difference between truthful and
Yeah.
honest was.
because honest is
That's
like you're kind of like you always have to
Yeah,
tell.
code,
Truthful
right.
is more.
Yeah. So honest
Your
is
from a certain point of view.
it's-
Yeah.
honest also includes sincere,
Oh yeah, okay.
right? Truthful is just raw truth,
Yeah.
Right.
right? So he doesn't care about people liking him. He just
Yeah, I just tell the truth.
hence charm. What's your charm? 5?
50.
Oh, okay.
I'm
You're more charming than me.
High society.
No,
I have good manners.
He was born in high society.
I'm going to have to raise that.
All right. You guys like it?
Awesome.
It's great. Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Digging it.
We are done for the night. So thanks for everybody who's tuning in or who's going to watch the YouTube later on. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Yes?
Yes.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
the plan.
And yeah, it was really fun. So thanks. Like and subscribe if you tune in, and we'll see you next time.